Not talking about anything with the debate. We'll talk about anything else. The only thing that I did mention that is even close, I mentioned when I opened that I found that the oldest recorded uses of opium date back to like 3,400 BC with the Sumerians, and they called it the joy plant. Oh, sure. There's a whole, and that's one thing that we were talking about more with marijuana, though, is the potency of different plants and herbs and how it. Now, with them playing with the potency, that's where we're starting to see far more problems. Um, anyways, I am. Oh, it is. It is. As a teenager, I smoked pot all the time. I can't do it. It's totally legal in New York. I can't. No, I'll freaking nope, nope. I freak out. Um, but I don't want to keep you ladies any longer because I know this time we are going for a full hour for open discussion between these two ladies. So we said 10-minute openings, 1 hour discussion, 5-minute closings. Yes, just check. I'm double checking before we get going. Oh, fix that first. That's really important. We can hang out and wait.
Get the tech stuff right. We're good.
We were struggling with our own tech stuff for a minute, so it's all good. Don't even worry.
Well, okay. Is there an echo now, guys?
Hello.
No, not with you. Like my viewers.
Making sure they're still listening.
Okay, is there an echo? Okay, good. Because sometimes there's an echo when I pull up StreamYard and OBS. Okay. Okay, we're good.
We're all good?
We're good.
All right.
Homestead.
I've been running a pre-debate poll. I'm going to go ahead and end that so that we don't have bleed over, but so far 54% say yes, it should only be administered by medical professionals. I will rerun the poll, or excuse me, it's 57% say yes, 43% say no. I will rerun the poll at the end of the debate and we'll decide who wins. Witchy, you have the affirmative, so I'm going to let you go first. I will pop back up on screen when you have 1 minute left, okay? And then I'll do the same for you, AVG, okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so excited. It's nice to have you both ladies, by the way.
Likewise. Thanks for having me.
Good afternoon, evening, AVG, and everybody out there in the ether watching on all the channels. So AVG and I discussed a debate on Narcan, and I agreed to take the affirmative on the idea that Narcan should only be administered to people through medical professionals, and only the medical professional should be in possession of it. So what that means isn't that we stop using Narcan, but that Narcan stops getting handed out freely on the street, or like Beth had mentioned before she brought anybody up about them being in dispensers out where people can just randomly take them, or that every time you get an opiate prescription in the United States, you're instantly, given Narcan, and if they don't have it on hand, they'll even hold your pain medication until they have Narcan to give you with it. I suspect AVG is going to maybe play a little bleeding heart, but the fact of the matter is we have no real numbers on what happens with Narcan that's self-administered because, well, there's no record. We hand it out, but we can't really. I mean, there's some self-reporting surveys, but they're not very clear. But the statistics are very clear on Narcan that's administered medically. And one of the most important things to know about Narcan that's administered medically or otherwise is it only gives about a 60 to 90 minute window of improvement before other medical care is most likely going to be necessary. And so in order for Narcan to truly be successful, even if it's administered without a professional, you need medical treatment pretty quickly afterward. And it's shown that people who are medically revived with Narcan, within a year, 10 to 12% of them are reported passed away from OD anyway. And that's just the medical ones. Like I said, we don't really have much numbers. There's an apathy that's growing in our EMS services, especially here in the United States. I have some quotes we can talk about later where EMS are saying that they've Narcaned some people 12, 15 times. And most of the time, the result is they're angry because you took away their high, and now it's going to take more for them to get high. And those people are even more likely to overdose more often because they keep needing more to get their high back once they're released after the Narcan has been given to them. The drug treatment programs put out statistics all the time that voluntary enrollment is typically per requirement for success in their programs. So going through the courts and forcing people into treatment isn't working. Handing them Narcan to use by themselves isn't working. And I really think that in order for Narcan to be a successful treatment, it needs to be administered by people who know what they're doing and how to give the medical treatment necessary afterwards. I also think that there should probably be a limit on Narcan. I don't think we should have people in our society who are getting 20 times Narcan by the same EMS to the point where they know each other by name. I think that there comes a point where if people aren't going to get the help that's available to them, we need to stop having a savior complex and pulling them back to a quality of life they obviously aren't happy with, since they're self-medicating so much that they OD on a regular basis. And I think that the biggest thing that I need to prove here, and I have a lot of statistics we can bring up later during the discussion, is that what's happening right now isn't working. It's not lowering the overdose rates. It's not taking away from the losses due to accidental overdose by high enough numbers to be worth handing it out the way it is. And it's not cheap. I didn't get into that yet, but I've got some numbers back there about the cost that's happening and a lot of fraud that's associated with that cost. So with that, I cede my time, and hopefully AVG's got her tech stuff figured out over there so she can be ready to respond.
Awesome. Yeah, you went really short. Thank you very much. While I'm resetting my timer, I need to say to Spin City, you said for $500, you asked me how much to make Snafu disappear. I said $500. You said I could make that happen. And then you expect me to censor my audience when you, sir, have not met your side of things. Stop acting like a diva and grow the fuck up already. I'm very sorry about that. Anyway, I'm sorry. People come and
You
they're
gotta
like,
do the housekeeping. We're all ladies.
I
We
don't
do
like
that.
what people say in your chat. I'm not coming on your panel. Well, you said you would pay me to get rid of them, and you still haven't. What do you want, dude? So, hey, if it's not worth it to you, why should it be worth it to me? Just saying. Okay. So, sorry about that. AVG, have that.
All right. Today's debate will require you, the audience, to contend with a series of controversial questions. Is the opioid problem in North America sustainable with our current tools? Is naloxone helping this problem? Is naloxone something we should be making available to the general public? I hope to settle your minds on these issues with my arguments today. Opioid usage affects over 9 million Americans every year, according to the National Center for Drug Abuse Statistics. We know this is a problem, not only because of these figures, but because in 2017, the White House declared the national opioid crisis a nationwide public health emergency. Naloxone, also known as Narcan, was invented in 1961 by Dr. Jack Fishman and Dr. Moses J. Lewinstein. The distribution of naloxone to the general public began in 1996 in Chicago and today occurs in many states and provinces. When administered, it prevents 93.5% of overdoses. This is life-saving medication, and it's available in both an inhalant and an injectable format. When the first format is administered, no formal training or medical skills are required, although free training courses are available through government sites. Narcan is highly portable, usually stocked free of charge at pharmacies, government buildings, and sites, and is currently the most accessible and efficient medication to use when someone is experiencing an opioid overdose. It is literally their only chance at living, at even making it to a hospital to seek the attention of a medical professional for further treatment, because overdoses lead to death so quickly after onset. Without a person who has misused an opioid even once, even by accident, would die on the streets, at a party, or in their own living room very easily once the fatal amount of opioids enters their bloodstream. My opponent's position would indicate that opioid addicts are lost causes, but opioid addicts are worth saving. 1.2 million Americans, according to the NIH, have recovered from opioid addiction. They are real humans with the potential to lead healthy lives, not lost causes. The true question here is whether making Narcan only available to be possessed by and administered by medical professionals will improve society. And the only feasible way I can see my opponent succeeding in establishing this is if she convinces you that opioid users are unredeemable, lesser humans that society ought pass on. That, ladies and gentlemen, would be an evil thought and not one any reasonable or moral person would condone. And with that, I yield my time.
Look at you, ladies, jumping straight to everything. I'm sorry for yelling before you started your opening. I hope I didn't scare you out of it.
It's okay.
It's amazing. All right. I am going to go ahead and set the timer for 1 hour. If you ladies need to share anything, just say so. I'll be watching. I can either share your, sharing your screen will probably go faster than me pulling it up. But if you need me to pull it up, I can. Just let me know what you'd like to do. Pick your poison as you need to. And I shall be back here in the shadows, hiding in the bushes.
Wait. Before you start the timer, I have a little bit of housekeeping. Did Den's stream get cut off from
No.
the restream? Okay, I got a message that it was.
AVG, did you want to restream, or are you restreaming on your
OBS?
Oh, okay.
I'm an OBS girl now.
Yeah. No, Den is totally connected from this side. I see both of them. So, and they both got the green check marks, so I'm not sure what's going on. Also, ladies and gentlemen, while we're taking this minute, please do remember to support the channel, drop a tip. I clearly deal with all kinds of hoopla just for hosting debates like these. You know,
What?
Spin City, you especially can send me $650 to get rid of Snafu. Okay? Because that's how it's going to work now, is I'm going to increase it each week. If he's that important to you, fine. Otherwise, seriously, sending me messages saying I can't come on your panel, say thank you to Snafu. Dude, stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. See the women laughing at you right now? It's embarrassing.
I'm not laughing. I'm just laughing at my chat. This is completely unrelated to the I don't know what you're talking about, Beth.
It's so cute. Bless his heart. My channel's gonna fail without him coming on the panel. Damn.
He says it's likely on his end then, so proceed.
All right. Denizen, if you need to disconnect and reconnect, just whatever, I'll be backstage. All right.
Okay. So, Witchy, you made a statement that seemed to indicate something. You said that naloxone isn't helping the current problem. Are there other methods that you're aware of that are less than the cost of $1 per taxpayer a year to supply the entire country with naloxone? Is that something that you are privy to and I'm not?
The problem isn't that naloxone isn't working when administered correctly to revive people. It's that you're saying $1 per year per taxpayer for 1% of the population. Everybody else has got to pay that price. And to be realistic, that's actually probably not very accurate either, because most people who are labeled as taxpayers aren't taxpayers, especially in the United States, because they get tax taken from their checks like everyone else, but they get as much as was taken or more with refundable credits refunded back to them. And so in those studies, those people will still be counted as taxpayers because they file a tax return. But they're not technically taxpayers. So you're really looking at a higher cost to each minimum wage or minimum wage, or lower cost to each minimum wage family and a higher cost to each middle class family than that. So that's kind of misleading. And more importantly, the question isn't whether or not these are bad or horrible people, as you phrased it, and it's not even the cost that is incurred, because the numbers are pretty high on how much we've spent on that in a lot of states. The question is, what's the point if we're not seeing them take that getting off of naloxone and moving forward into rehabilitation?
Okay.
And
Can
the
I
numbers
stop you?
show
Just
that people who
Witchy.
are taking it in a controlled environment are more likely
Okay.
to be directed to the kind of help that stops them from just doing it again next week.
Yeah, you're gish galloping. So you completely avoided the first part of my question. I'm sure you have a bunch of questions about the taxation element. I'm more than happy to get into that. But before we do, can you please answer my question? Do you have a better solution other than naloxone?
No, I just want it
Okay, thank
administered
you.
by the
Okay,
health
great.
professionals,
Perfect.
not the general public.
I thought so. Okay, great. So let's talk about that $1, right? Do you think that an individual would contribute more to society than $1 in their lifetime if they're saved?
Okay, so you're talking about saved individuals, which really throws a weird aspect into this, because I didn't think we were going into the moral Christian viewpoint.
No, I mean it prevents the overdose. It prevents 93.5% of overdoses.
If they're saved from dying, if they
live,
resuscitated from dying.
Correct.
If you were correct in your number being $1 for that dose of naloxone, yeah, it's probably worth it if they're saved, if they are going to go on and become a productive member of society. If they're going to continue to be the guy in the fent bins on the street waiting for his next dose of naloxone, no.
Did you, maybe I can get Beth to pull this up. Did you read the study that was done with respect to the potential for recovery for opioid addicts that I quoted from the NIH? It's called Recovery from Opioid Problems in the U.S. Population.
I did. Is there specific something you wanted to reference from it?
Yeah, the recovery members are actually better than you would think in terms of numbers. Considering the amount of people that actually use it, the amount that actually do recover is pretty impressive. And one thing to keep in mind when we're talking about opioids is that it does literally change the way that the brain chemistry works. It does this for years, right? It's not like alcohol where it's necessarily easier to quit. I mean, I'm sure everybody on this panel has seen the devastating effects, right, of the OxyContin crisis and how that was originally marketed as safe. And that was prescription medication, right? You need to keep in mind, too, that not everybody who needs naloxone is needing naloxone because they're street using heroin, right? They could be on a completely legal opioid prescription and it could just be prescribed wrong or utilized with other methods. And then that person's going to die. And they're not a junkie. They're just somebody that needed pain medication because they had a life altering, physical ailment or mental ailment, right?
Well, if we didn't have medical professionals so busy dealing with what's going on currently with this crisis of people ODing over and over and over again, that person would get the treatment they needed anyway, because our system wouldn't be so overtaxed. Are you aware that in the number of opioid addicts has increased dramatically since the release of naloxone handed out freely in the public. Are you aware that the number of ODs has still increased?
I would be curious to see how you
Naloxone.
link that to naloxone, other than the fact that naloxone has been available since then. Do you have any statistics that would draw a direct correlation between the two, or is it just because society is, experiencing a drug use crisis and opioids are more prescribed now than ever?
Well, my point is using these drugs to supposedly help these people to recover. Not many of them are actually recovering if their numbers are rising, while the ODs are also rising. So that means that more people are actually still becoming addicted and not getting off of drugs, and more people are dying from the drugs since we supposedly put out this life-saving measure to the public. I think it kind of like your argument about birth control encouraging women to act out. I think naloxone in the pocket of every junkie encourages them to not care if they OD because their buddy's going to give them some of that and they're just going to hit it just as hard again tomorrow.
So did you read my study on, it was from the University of Minnesota. It's about the greater availability of naloxone and the increases in witness overdoses can reduce opioid-related deaths, because those statistics disagree with it. Specifically, they say that a supply-based approach could reduce overdose deaths by about 6.3%, and a demand-based approach for naloxone could achieve an 8.8% reduction. So that flies directly in the face.
But the numbers actually show that it hasn't. In 2017, we started in the US, we started handing it out on the street corners. Everybody's got it. My daughter went to a surgery, and when they gave her pain medications, we were sent home with it. In fact, we couldn't leave the building because they were out of it and had to have some shipped over from another pharmacy in order for her to get her pain medication after her surgery. That's an anecdotal thing, but I'm just saying it's just being handed out like crazy. And here's the thing. Since then, we have not seen a decrease in overdoses. We have not seen a decrease in overdose deaths. We have not seen a decrease in new addicts. We haven't seen a decrease in long-term addicts. The statistics are still showing that it's growing in numbers. Having the fentanyl available is actually giving us more drug addicted people. Wait, let me finish. In our country, because of the way it's available, and then you throw the naloxone on top of that, and they've got fentanyl at $1 a pill and naloxone at, you're saying, $1 a dose. So we're just going to keep doping them up and saving them, and doping them up and saving them, because they're all prescription medications. All of these things come from big pharma, and big pharma is the one making money on both ends of this. So they're just there to let big pharma profit over and over again on one end for their overdose and on the other end for their revival?
So with respect to, again, you still haven't linked naloxone to increasing the amount of opioid-related deaths. I have statistics to say the contrary. You have no evidence that, the people that are going to the hospital because they're junkies is actually interfering with people with prescription opioids to get help. I'm not seeing the correlation here, and you have no alternative. Like, you're just saying, they're going to die on the streets. And I think you're missing the fact that when somebody gets administered naloxone, they have to seek medical attention. It's well known. It's not like they can just go and use it again, right? And there's no other way for them to they can't get to a hospital when they're ODing. Not unless somebody drives, and it can happen in seconds.
You really think that people who are ODing on the streets have access to go get medical treatment after their buddy sprays naloxone up their nose a couple times?
Somebody's going to call an ambulance. You can call an ambulance. Most of these people are using drugs in the open, or at a party where somebody has a home, or they're using their prescriptions at home.
Have you walked through the neighborhoods where these people are at night? And seen what's going on. These people OD, they fix themselves. The only time typically that someone is called is if they OD out away from their known haunts, and the person being there is uncomfortable to the surroundings. And then the ambulances, like I said, the EMTs get there, and these people aren't grateful for the EMTs coming to save their freaking lives. They're pissed.
What does that have to do with whether or not they ought to be given a chance? These people don't have their faculties. They're ODing on a high level opioid.
Those are the kind of people we need to keep bringing back into our society and around our children and around our homes and around our businesses.
They can recover. They're not useless. They're not second-rate citizens.
The recovery rates are low. I did post recovery rates. Let me see if I can pull those up over here.
To me, the only question, I'll again bring up the statistic, but to me, the only thing that I'm concerned with is, can they recover, and is there more of a 1% chance of them recovering? Because if that's so, that's worth it. And the fact that they're human alone, to me, is worth saving because they are created in God's image. So.
God, I'm so not tech savvy, AVG. I'm sorry.
That's
Give me
okay.
a second.
Can we get Beth to help us out? Bethy Gins. Oh, you're on mute.
If you drop the link backstage, I can most certainly show whatever you're trying to show, sweetheart. Copy and paste.
I can share it once I get it open. I'm having issue. I put a lot of sources. I'm not finding the one that I want to be.
I hate that. I do that too.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so you don't need me. You got it.
Think maybe
I'm watching. I'm watching for the share screen.
People are just wondering about the after panel.
So, but yeah, after closing statements, I'm going to do questions one at a time this time, and then we will absolutely open the panel. But only one question, guys. If you're going to come up and ask a question, keep it to one and then hop back in line if you have more questions.
Okay, so if I do that and I go
Evers.
I can always add a couple minutes for this. Got it. All right.
So let's see.
This is from an addiction center website. Yeah.
American Addiction Centers. It's,
when you want it down, just say
data. Where? I'm not finding the numbers again, and they were here. The relapse rate for substance use disorders is between 40 and 60%. Somewhere right here it was.
It doesn't say they don't get better. It just says they have a relapse, right? That's pretty common with addictive substances, especially opioids.
Here we go. Only 23% actually receive treatment. That alone tells you that most people aren't getting treatment, and the majority of people who aren't getting treatment are going to be the ones out on the street. But I'm not finding. I know it was in this article, and because is it the one? Let me look in my notes again, because I was going off of what I shared on Discord, and I probably opened.
If you want to proceed, I can see that there's probably, a high rate of relapse, and that there's a certain only percentage of people that seek treatment. But if we don't give them the Narcan, they'll never be able to seek treatment because they're going to die on the street.
I suppose that's.
Can I take a shower?
children. Sorry, guys. I suppose that's something I'd have to see too. If they don't get the Narcan, they're ODing, they're not going to get the treatment. But the issue is that even if they get the Narcan, they're not getting the treatment, most of them. And even if, because we see Narcan use up, distribution. I have a distribution map in our notes. I could probably pull that up. Narcan distribution is up in the last 10 years astronomically, and yet the OD rate, the fatality OD rate is up. We don't even have numbers on the actual ODs because a lot of them aren't reported now because they're getting Narcan on their own, and then they're just going right back out and using. And these are what the reports show, that deaths are up since Narcan was introduced and spread out drastically, and the number of addicts is up, which means recovery rates aren't up. If we've got a lot of deaths and a lot of existent addicts, how can recovery rates be up under Narcan? Do you have statistics that show where since Narcan was made available the way it is, that recovery rates have improved anywhere?
So there is no direct correlation between naloxone being available or Narcan and there actually being a increase in the amount of people that abuse it. You can't abuse Narcan. You can abuse opioids. It is true that if somebody uses Narcan and then proceeds to use opioids again, yes, they're likely going to OD. But if they don't have access to the naloxone, they OD either way. Basically, what we're entering into with your question is, okay, so there's going to be a problem where people don't seek the adequate treatment that they're supposed to after the Narcan's administered. I can see that, sure, right? But without the naloxone, none of them will. So they'll all die, right? There's no way if there's an onset of an overdose that they're going to be able to get to a medical professional unless a doctor or nurse with Narcan happens to be walking by a bad part of town, which is, I mean, that's going to be a very small percentage of happening, right? So, and you don't have an alternative, right? If naloxone isn't helping, as you're asserting, if there's been an increase in these problems since then and that there's not an adequate recovery rate, which is counter to my...
I do have an alternative, but you don't like it. My alternative is let them die.
Let them die,
I'm very
right.
clear on that. I'm very clear on that. If they cannot, with all of the services we have available in our system today for people in their situation, the very same people who are handing out naloxone to them are also offering them buses to detox. They're also offering them the ability to get counseling. They have services available to them. They don't take them. So what I'm telling you is, short of a medical professional getting this person into a medical setting to apply the naloxone, the outcomes aren't that great. We're spending this money, we're putting this effort, we're keeping these people on our streets where our children walk, where our businesses are run, where they're defecating and urinating in the streets. And I'm not talking about just homeless, I'm talking about addicts.
Well,
and we're keeping them alive over and over again. We're not providing them a safe place to do it. We're not providing medical care for them after they get the naloxone and use it. A lot of them aren't even aware how the naloxone works, what the possible side effects to their body are if they use the naloxone and it stops their use and they use again, and how much, when that block ends, how much they're going to hit double at once. They're not given any kind of options for recovery or treatment for their addiction or their behaviors if they're able to give themselves an naloxone or their buddy can give it to them on the street. Not only that, but I thought you would focus on this more, so I kind of prepared for it. But we have the addicts out in the street, but you did mention, what about the little old lady on her pain meds or a young kid?
yeah,
like
your
my
method
dog,
doesn't discriminate. Your method
example,
doesn't
is
protect her.
taking some pain medicine and can't get it. Well, here's the thing. If that somebody is responsible and has responsible people in their lives and has proper medical care in general, they're going to have access to it. You're going to call an ambulance and they're going to come. And here's the thing. The ambulance getting there is almost 90% of the time in time. Most ambulance drivers who come for an OD are able to administer naloxone in time to save these people. It's when the naloxone's not available or an ambulance isn't called. that they would die. And I'm sorry, those people that if your own friends don't even want to call an ambulance for you, your own family isn't taking care of you, and you're out there in the street ODing over and over again, we don't need you. You're a drain on society. They're not producing anything. What productive measures are they giving to society that we should be worrying about stopping them from doing what they're trying to do?
So, number one, I think you're making a huge gratuitous assumption here that everybody is aware of what to do, or aware of like, okay, this is how to call an ambulance, or even able to be in a circumstance where they're not like out in the middle of nowhere where the ambulance is going to come in time, right? And the second one, the second question that I would really pose to you is this, right? Do you know anybody who's recovered from opioid addiction? Do you know anybody who's recovered from drug addiction, right? Is this just something you just are not familiar with, that it occurs, or?
So I was born addicted to heroin.
Mm-hmm. Of no fault of your own.
My mother recovered from heroin addiction in my life. Naloxone didn't exist for her, so we won't even go there.
Right.
I myself am a member of a recovery program for alcohol. I am an alcoholic. A recovered alcoholic, gratefully recovered from a hopeless state, but an alcoholic nonetheless, always and forever. I have lots of friends in recovery. I sponsor people in recovery and have a sponsor myself in recovery. So I'm well aware of how recovery works, and recovery only works for people who want to recover. We're talking about people out here who are not interested in the recovery, because those same people who are handing out the naloxone and handing out the clean needles and clean kits are the same people who are also offering recovery options and Christian therapy homes. My state funds a lot of that stuff, so I happen to be very well aware that the same people are going out handing out these life-saving measures are also offering true life-saving measures through recovery and through Christ especially. That's a very big part of a lot of these groups. And there's those that are secular, for those turned off by the chip on their shoulder about God. But the fact of the matter is, these are people who are not availing themselves of recovery. So you really think those are the same people who just want to be high all the time and escape the world, who are then going to get the Narcan, and after they're already awake and starting to detox, they're going to go to the hospital and get the proper treatment and then what happens is 6 weeks later, I don't know about you guys because you have socialized medicine, so it's completely different than how it works here. But we have privatized medicine in the United States, and these people go to the hospitals and they're suffering from the effects of their drug overdose 2 weeks last week, and the next one, the other one 3 days ago, and their kidneys are failing, and they go in and they use these indigent funds. Well, how hospitals mostly fund these indigent funds is by raising the prices for the rest of us. And so if you don't have good insurance, you're paying more for your procedures to cover the procedures for those people who should have been left on their own, or administered the Narcan by a professional so that the treatment could have been given in time, so they're not on dialysis every week at the emergency room and I'm paying for it.
So we're going to talk about the cost on society in a bit, because I know you're itching to get towards that, and I feel like it's probably going to be one of the cruxes of your argument, and I would love to talk about that. But first off, I just want to recap a couple of things here, and I want to make sure that you're aware. Narcan is only for actual overdoses that are occurring, right? So if we fail to prevent the overdose, if we aren't able to get that person, regardless of what you think they want or don't want, the truth is you don't know what that person is actually thinking, right? If we don't get them that treatment, they won't survive. So they can't get any recovery. They can't get any treatment, regardless of your assumption of their state of mind. The second thing is, you did admit that it is possible to be an addict of no fault of your own and to recover. And you've seen it happen on at least 2 cases that you've advised me, right? So we know it's possible. So after we've gotten those things through, unless I've misstated your position, let's talk about the cost of society. What would you like to make in terms of points on that? You said that they cost the emergency services quite a bit of money. Do you have any statistics on that, or where are we going with that? 'That? 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 'that
when for starters, when you brought up the cost of Narcan, you said it's about $1 per
year.
taxpayer per year to provide Narcan for everybody who needs it. Can you show me those numbers? Can you pull them up? Because that doesn't match with how much I saw we were spending.
Yeah, I had it. I don't think I circulated this, but I can pull it back up. The Nalox, yeah. I think it was from the Guardian. They did a, yeah. Okay. Okay, there was an exact cost here. I was gonna find it for you. That's the direct cost. I know the direct cost is something around like it's a bit higher, but like the cost per taxpayer, because the government buys it in bulk. Yeah, this might be from Canada. Maybe it's different there. Do you know what the price is in the States?
So I do have some information. I found the one I was looking for earlier. I'm just going to open that real quick and we'll pull it up in a minute. But I do have some information on how much our government appropriates to combat the opioid epidemic, but I don't have... I could have swore I put the one that showed how much they were overcharging states and up to $400 a dose at the hospitals. But I'm not finding it. But I do have numbers that show $10.5 billion spent on the opioid crisis in the last 10 years, but that doesn't include, that's outside of the Narcan. And I thought I had shared the link there that gave the numbers for the Narcan, but I'm not finding it. I might be able to pull it up in a minute, but I did want to show you. This is a Columbia University Department of Psychiatry study that shows only 1% of opioid users are recovering based on statistical analysis.
Okay, we can like tolerate that first, and then I'll see if I can find you the exact. I know it costs. It's like something in the millions of dollars, like 20 million, but broken down per taxpayer it costs about $1 per taxpayer. It's nothing. It's negligible. To save your neighbor, right? Who might save your life someday. You never know.
I don't think it should be done away with. I don't think that we should be like getting rid of naloxone and not using it. I just don't think we should be handing it out to addicts on the street as though it were their get out of jail free card to keep getting high all the time.
But it's not a get out of jail free card. It's helping them stay alive so that they can get treatment. And yeah, maybe they're going to use again. I can't tell you that they're never going to use because they have naloxone. There's no like double effect of naloxone that once you do it, it makes you no longer want to do heroin or fent or carfent or whatever you're on, right? Or even sometimes, like I said, it can be completely accidental. We know that they put these types of opioids in other street level drugs, right?
Right.
So it's not always like you're painting this image of this person is doing like a fent walk or whatever every Tuesday near a playground, that they're just this second-rate citizen that we ought not save. But like that's just simply not the reality. This is a crisis that affects everybody. Almost everyone knows somebody who's had a battle with opioids, be it through prescription or just their own recreational usage, unintentionally or intentionally. And these people,
the families of those people have left them out on the streets. If their own families can't get them to come together and do something about actual recovery, like, what are we going to do? What, you give them the Narcan and then what? What's the point of giving them the Narcan if we're just bringing them back to continue the cycle over and over again? Tell me what the point is. You think if we just save one of them, it's worth it?
Yeah, I think if we can save one life, if we can get one person to treatment and maybe they find God too in the process, I think that's amazing. I would love to see that happen. And you might say, well, it's not as effective as I would like, but your alternative is death. And I don't think that these people deserve to die because you've labeled them like unredeemable just for virtue of having done opioids even once. I got people in my chat saying, I've been clean and sober 7 years. I'm a recovering addict. I'm a recovering addict. There's like tons of people in my chat that are saying this has happened to me. I am proof that this works. And I wonder if they didn't have Narcan, if they would still be alive today. I don't think so. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Witchy.
You muted accidentally.
You're not saving as many people as you think you are if the number of ODs is increasing since Narcan was, I think I copied the wrong article here, and I have the quote, but I don't have the right article. Since Narcan was released actively to this population out in the streets who are getting high and overdosing on a regular basis to be administered by themselves, we have seen an increase in the numbers of addicted people and an increase in the number of people who die from overdose. So where are the people you're saving with this? The people you're saving eventually are dying of overdose, are staying as long-term users. That's why the numbers increase.
So 2 things on that. Number one, that number can be linked to other things. It doesn't necessarily mean it's due to Narcan. It could also be due to the fact that, like I said, there's opioids and more street level drugs than ever. Opioids are more potent and more prescribed than ever. The other consideration with respect to, your assertions on their recovery is like I said, we can't get them recovered if they don't actually have access to the life-saving medication. Unless you have something else for me, unless you have a different medication that they can use, then great. But the problem is like there's no direct link between Narcan and the increased amount of overdose. It's just a reality. There's an opioid crisis. And this is right now, this is the only solution that I know of that gets them to a hospital, that gets them the treatment that they need. If you can prove to me that somebody doing Narcan makes them more likely to not recover, and that for some reason every single person who uses Narcan goes on to live a terrible and short rest of their existence hooked on opioids, then I still think that it's worth distributing, particularly because the cost is so low.
The cost isn't as low as you make it seem. You're attributing the cost over the entire country as opposed to giving exact measure, and you're attributing it to people who aren't necessarily taxpayers, because those are skewed statistics when you measure by the census taxpayer number as to where this money's getting spread out over. More importantly, it's not just the actual cost of the naloxone. So in my city currently, I don't know much about Canada, and in cities across the United States, business districts are having to close doors because the population of these people who are addicted living outside of their businesses prevents them from being able to do business. And you have the cost of the city for cleaning up after them, moving them around, trying to find places for them. You have the cost of the medical treatment that they are receiving, because a lot of these people end up with injuries that become infected because they don't go for medical treatment, because they're high on drugs, so they don't feel it. And by the time they do something about it, it's a serious issue. And those costs are passed on, not to the taxpayer. No. Most of those costs are passed on through through raised costs to the individual to cover the indigent funds that a lot of private and state hospitals are required to have in place for these people. So that cost just gets passed on to the people who can't afford to pay, to our insurance companies, who then raise our rates. Like, if you look at those costs, then there's the social costs. where most of our parks in the city I live in, I can't take my kids to play in the park anymore like I did when I was a kid because they're camping there. There's needles there. There's people sitting out there with foil. I don't know if you know much about fentanyl use, but freebasers are a big portion of the fentanyl users these days. And there's used foil with fentanyl on it that if my child accidentally picks up could take out my child lying in the streets because we have these addicts who are not getting sufficient care after being resuscitated and resuscitated. And the numbers show it. I've seen, I don't know how many street interviews where user after user admits to multiple times of being resuscitated. The article I shared about EMT stories, these EMTs will they have what they call frequent flyers, AVG, who they're out there all the time. Somebody calls them because they administered Narcan off the side of the street and they've got to come out there and check on this person there. And these people are told they need to get to a hospital and they refuse to go to a hospital. And it happens over and over again. Like I get that you have a soft heart for, there might be that one addict who is then later my converted ortho Christian husband. I'm joking. That was a joke, honey. There's that one right? good guy that's going to come out of this and become some sort of, viable moral participant in society. But the vast majority of them are not. And the numbers show that. What we're seeing, though, is an increase of the number of actual addicts because so many of them are surviving longer. And at the same time, an increase in ODs, which means Narcan isn't helping us solve the opioid crisis. All it's doing is putting a Band-Aid over a gaping wound. And as long as people in positions of power think that that Band-Aid is sufficient, they're not going to look for more. They're going to be, we gave them Narcan. And then we're still going to have these people on our streets, sleeping on our streets, defecating on our streets, drug using on our streets, having copulation in the middle of the street because they're high and they don't care, in front of our children, in front of our elderly. The services that our elderly need are being usurped, especially since a lot of our elderly fall into the lower income brackets. Their services are being usurped by these people who will never contribute, even if you can get a lot of them clean and sober. Even if you could. The majority of them have lifelong health issues and mental health issues associated just with the use itself over prolonged periods. What sort of productive citizen are they going to be? They're constantly going to need the support of society. Yes, I say let them die. And if that makes me a cold-hearted witch, well, we all know I am one anyway, so I'm okay with that. Sorry, I've been a little bit under the weather, guys, so forgive me if I get a little raspy.
Yeah. All right. So you said a lot there. I thought it was interesting that, and very not in my backyard of you, all of those points. But I thought it was interesting that you raised the point of perhaps like the child stepping on the needle, right, or coming into contact with the Narcan, with the fentanyl, in which case you would want the Narcan available. But my concern from your position is this. Okay. You are saying because this person might cost more than they're worth in your, I would call it an immoral assessment. I'm not saying you're immoral. That assessment is rather immoral. Where does that end? Like, where's the bright line rule? Like the elderly, you brought up the elderly cost society quite a bit and they contribute very little. Can we just Soylent Green them? Disabled people who maybe haven't worked a day in their lives, they cost the government hundreds of thousands of dollars. Should we just Soylent Green them too? Like, do we just Soylent Green the fuck out of these people because they're just costing us too darn much money? Screw life at that point, right? It's a very dark.
So, my feelings on that. AVG, we've had that debate before when it comes to the disabled. I'm not the Soylent Green. I'm not going that far, but definitely the eugenics to prevent them from being born. I'm on board with that. And as far as the elderly, they have contributed, most of them, and now need the care of society. I'm talking about these people who are the vast majority of them. I'm going to go look it up because I know I had the article. I'm not finding it in my notes, and I'll pull it up for you to look at. But I know for a fact that this article that I had, and there'll be other articles if I don't find that one, less than 1% of opiate addicts recovered as compared to 12% of alcoholics when given treatment in detox and treatment centers. It was thought it was Columbia University. So I'm going to go look for this article while we talk, but I just want to understood that the statistics really do show about that most addicts don't recover.
Is that because rehab
Opioid
centers
addicts
are really expensive too? Could that be something to do with it? Maybe the government should also make that available on a more wide basis.
Well, we have that here. I told you that, AVG, right here in my hometown, because I've participated in helping in these places. I've ran AA meetings in these treatment centers that are free to the public, provided by our government in my state and in most states. That I've worked in these places with people. They're free. You can get in. All you have to do is when the bus comes around, the same bus, and it's a city-run bus, the one I'm talking about, the city here owns it. They provide this stuff. They come around with these kits. It's a little, it looks like a little makeup bag, and it has clean needles. It has, what are those cuffs to create,
The rubber bands.
pressure, rubber
It's
cuffs
a tie.
for,
It's a tie that you put on so you can administer
yes,
it.
that thing. It has those. It has Narcan in it. It has, alcohol wipes, and a little thing of isopropyl alcohol sometimes in them for safe using. Those same people can literally load you on the bus rather than give you a kit and take you to a detox. From detox, they'll put you into a bed in a treatment center, or they'll get you into outpatient treatment if they can get you placed with a family member. A lot of times family members don't come forward for these people. And I've worked with these people, a lot of them, AVG. And this is still anecdotal because my state is one of the worst for drug abuse and one of the best for offering solutions. So there are places they may not offer that. But everywhere that I know of, you can go and get help, and they come to you and offer you, please come with us. We will help you. And they don't want to go. The majority of these people, and and you can quote me on these people because that's going to offend some people. The majority of these people have chosen a life that they're in.
But what about the people
Where I
that
come
didn't?
from, it's a very community and family-oriented culture here. I'm from an area where it's mostly Native American and Hispanics, which are very family-oriented cultures. And yet these people are out on the streets because their own families have gotten to the point where I can't take him home with me. He steals from me. He goes in his little sister's room and takes her piggy bank. And they won't go to treatment, or they get into treatment. And as soon as they're released from treatment, they stop showing up. I sponsored, you have no idea how many people I've sponsored that I get them from treatment. And as soon as they're done with treatment, I can't get them to a meeting. I can't get them to their therapist that the state is paying for them. The resources are there and they're not using them. And yes, I firmly believe let them die in the street. Cremate their bodies and be done with it. We do not need to save everyone. Not everyone is worth saving.
Even the person that has contributed to society their entire life, and then at the age of 50, they get a horrible back injury at their job site, right? And then they are prescribed OxyContin, and they get addicted to OxyContin. And then when that doctor stops writing them scripts, they turn to heroin. And then that person, by no fault of their own, is now on a very serious drug. And you would look at them on the street and you'd be like, oh, that person's doing the fent walk, they're a junkie, right? But this is a person that's just, for shit luck in life, has landed themselves in that position. And your method makes no distinction. That's the problem with your method.
It absolutely does. That person's going to have access. That person's going to have access to medical care. That person, like you said, was prescribed this drug, so that person could be prescribed a nurse to come and administer that drug so that they don't overdose.
No, and
if they're off of it and they're already addicted to heroin instead, they could have, when they realized that they were having withdrawal symptoms after getting off of their prescribed pain medication, could have reached out to their medical professionals and gotten help look, I'm going through withdrawals here. This stuff got me addicted, and they could have been placed in treatment then if they're willing to get the treatment. But if they're not willing to get the treatment and the treatment's available to them, no, let them die. If you're not willing to help yourself, we don't need to help you. There's no obligation to help someone who doesn't help themselves. And I'm talking about adults here. I'm not even going to get into, oh, well, you have to care for children until they're old enough and feed them and nurture them. We all know that. I'm talking about adults who are making adult decisions. And here's the thing. The majority of people who benefit from having Narcan available without the proper medical professional are people who OD more than once. We're not talking about a guy who very rarely is the guy who's at home with his pain medication ODing, not going to get Narcan from the ambulance or even have someone there to give him the Narcan. The people who are getting it are these people on the streets. These are people who are, and you can say they aren't, they're a drain. They cause a lot of issues. They make use of all of the taxpayer funded programming that should be available to low income people who are actually trying to do something for themselves. They take advantage of our medical system, and they're a nuisance. They're a nuisance on business. My own town, what used to be known as part of the downtown district, is becoming a ghost town. Businesses are going out of business because you can't get customers to come in because they have to wade through these zombified junkies in the front.
So I want to ask you a question. I wasn't sure whether or not I really want to go down this route, but I'm just gonna tolerate it just for the purposes of demonstrating something. So if Narcan, right, when it's used, it doesn't technically prevent the overdose. They do need to seek medical attention, right? If the person, like, you're concerned that they're just going to use again, right? They're gonna die anyway. So it's perfect. It's perfect for your analogy. The people that are willing to get the help will go to the hospital, right? And seek medical attention. And we should give that to them because they have hope. And the people that don't, well, they're just going to die on the street anyway. So what's the harm?
Anecdotally here, I have a close association with a firefighter EMT in my family. And one of the things he'll say is they'll go 2 or 3 times in a night to the same person. And that person will keep using Narcan and keep getting high because the fentanyl's cheap. And it happens on a regular basis. These are people they know by name. They won't go into the hospital and get treatment, but some passerby will see them laid out and think that they need help and give them Narcan and then call the ambulance. Because when you're given Narcan and told you can administer it to someone else, they tell you give them the Narcan but still call the ambulance, right? So they call the ambulance, and the ambulance is called back to the same corner, to the same guy, and the guy's like, I'm not going with you. And he goes and gets more. He's not even giving himself the Narcan, man, mind you. Good Samaritans are giving him the Narcan. And it happens over and over. And then after 3-4 weeks of this happening, the guy shows up in the ER because he's got blood in his urine. And now we're paying for a bunch of tests to figure out why his organs are failing on him because he keeps getting resuscitated.
Yeah, so that's an anecdotal, and I don't think the exception makes the rule unless you can prove to me that it's happening on a majority basis. I really think it's a red herring. It's a non-factor in my assessment on whether or not we should make Narcan available to the public. I want you to, because you've been doing a lot of anecdotes, and so I want to make this like something that's close to home for you. If one of your children who you love, right, got addicted to opioids, right, through no fault of their own, and they were out somewhere where they couldn't get an ambulance in time, and Narcan would be the only thing that would save them, would you want Narcan to be available to your child?
No.
Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. That is rough, man. Oh, wow.
I don't think that just because it's my child, if they're making the wrong life choices, that's not. Narcan wasn't available when I was younger, and a lot of my friends did die from OD. I'm a recovering alcoholic. A lot of the people I hung out with were addicts and alcoholics. I mean, that's just a reality. And I'm sorry, I don't. I believe Narcan should be available by a medical professional. If I live in the middle of nowhere. If my adult child came home and OD'd in my house, one of the things about the United States, Canada is a little bit different than here, is I've got a fire, even in the middle of nowhere, I've got a fire station within 10 minutes of my house, and the EMTs can get here and administer Narcan. And typically speaking, that's plenty of time.
Depends on whether it's interacted with other drugs, right?
Typically speaking, it would take me that long to realize he's ODing and figure out the Narcan and everything else. Just to be fair, I have adult children, and if my adult children were in that situation, though, my move wouldn't be to give them Narcan so that they are ODing, they can come back. My move would be to be as proactive as I could in getting them into real recovery. And if they didn't want recovery, then there's nothing I could do. Saving them or not saving them isn't up to me. It's up to them. That's one of the things that people forget, is we're not responsible for everybody else's decisions. We're not God. It's not up to me to make that decision, but playing God and having a martyr complex is as common as the weaponized victimhood in our society. People think it's my responsibility, and I don't mean me, but the proverbial my responsibility to save everybody else. And it's not. It's just not. Some people, here's a question for you. Mm-hmm. You profess to be a Christian, yes?
That's
and I'm
correct.
not attacking your Christianity here. I won't do that.
Oh, you can do that. I'll see. But it'll make me kind of.
How do you feel about people who pass away and are brought back medically? You don't think that that's going against God?
So only God can tell us what his intent is, right? If somebody has a DNR, right, that's their personal choice. The question of whether or not a DNR goes against God's will is something that's been long debated by apologists everywhere. But the fact of the matter is, from what I understand, it's not really up to us to say this is what God would want, this is what God would not want. I do know one thing, though. I know that God values life, right? God values his creation. And so I would assume, based on that principle and that teaching of the church, that he would want everybody to live, including the person that you would say, this is a lost cause. This person's going to use, opioids again. I think God would want that person to get better and live, and to not die having been, in a drug-in state where they were closer to Satan's desires than they ever would have wanted to be in those final moments.
You said God would have to tell me his
I said
desires
only God knows,
that, right?
You're saying what would God want, right? And I'm telling you,
right. Didn't he write a book telling us what he wanted in regards to these sort of things?
So I'm Orthodox. I'm not sola scriptura. I don't believe that the Bible is the be all end all. The church existed prior to the Bible. The Bible is utilized within church teachings, but it's not the be all end all. That's what Protestants believe.
Even if you go back to early teachings, God spoke to the apostles through Jesus and in other ways to tell them his prescription for what behaviors we should align ourselves with, to give us this moral code that you follow, correct?
In part, yeah, the Bible is a tool, yeah.
And that moral code includes the fact that should you fall into disrepute, you fall out of the light that God is shining, right?
Actually, I've been told by my priest that there isn't a sin that you cannot be redeemed from. Even the greatest sin of blasphemy, I'm told that it can be redeemed. I know individuals.
How do you get redeemed?
How do you get redeemed? Well, only Jesus can be and God. Jesus is God, right? The final deciding factor. That
you have to seek redemption, right?
Yeah, you repent. You fast. You attend church. You do
repent.
Confession.
That's enough of the word. You don't have to give this the prescription how to repent. You repent.
That's typically how I understand it occurs.
These people are not repentant.
How
The
can you be the judge of
non-repentant,
that?
how are they our problem?
Witchy, how can you decide when they will or won't? If assuming that they're not repentant when they're high on fent, maybe they're repentant like a day after. Maybe they're repentant later on in life, right? Yes, there's plenty of people that have a bad, time of life for a short period, and then they do redeem themselves and they do find God. Like, we just don't know that. We don't know who is and it's not repentant. We don't have the ability to mind read. Since we're talking about my Christianity and morals, where do you get your morals from?
Well, you brought it to morality. Oh, honestly, so to be fair, I'm what they call spiritually eclectic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have taken the time in my life to devote a decent period of time to all of the different versions of dogma around worship and spirituality and God and whatnot. And I have taken from them the one truth that all of them carry, and it carries over no matter which humans are trying to interpret it, is God is love.
And you reach that
And
conclusion.
that's where I get my morals from. You love everyone.
And you've reached that conclusion using your own thought. This isn't something that exists outside of your mind, right?
It's in every single scripture. The God puts us here to love ourselves and one another. Like he literally tells us to love each other like we love ourselves. In every type of belief that you come to, the higher power that is inherent speaks to treat others like you treat yourself. Live in love.
But don't save the person that is overdosing on an opioid. That person's different. They're not worthy of love.
Saving them from the position they put themselves in isn't love.
Based on your subjective interpretation.
Well, of course, it's always based on someone's subjective interpretation. You may prefer your priest's or your church's interpretation, but I prefer my own.
Yeah, your subjective interpretation. It only exists. You're using the interpretation inside your mind, so it's not objective. So there's no way to determine on an objective scale that your morality is right.
Objective determination of God. It's all subjective.
Okay, so do you know the difference between subjective and objective?
Yes, and objective means can be proven and is an object that exists. You cannot prove anything about God, and you can't disprove anything about God, so it's all subjective.
So when we're talking about morality, that definition is slightly different. So objective morality is that the morality, like the truths and whatnot, that they exist outside of our mind, right? Whereas subjective is something that exists within your own interpretation. It's something that exists within the mind. It's unable to be scrutinized because everybody who has a subjective interpretation interprets morality differently. Okay? So that's why it's problematic when there is a moral code that exists outside of one's mind, such as the moral code that exists within the church, and especially within the one true church, right, the Orthodox Church, right, that can be measured, that can be tested. We can define who that is, not just based on an individual's interpretation of morality. That's why it's so strong. Subjective morality is like the lowest tier. There's everybody can, like, for instance, the Cum warriors of Papua New Guinea, right? The Simbari tribe, they think it's moral to force young boys to ingest seminal fluid. It's how they become men, and that's fine. It's consensual in their tribe. That is subjectively okay because they have been raised, right, within this framework that says it's okay to do this. Do you think it's okay for an older man to force a young boy to ingest his seminal fluid?
I don't know. I don't know the ritual. I don't think it's okay to consume the body and blood of your God. So you're it's okay. Just as disgusting to me. Okay. So you're asking me to condemn somebody else's morals when the ones that you represent are no better.
You don't know the ritual? You don't know what fellatio is?
You've
never performed fellatio on anybody?
That's not what they do.
That's not what. How do you know? You said you didn't know what they do.
How do you know it is? You just said it was a ritual?
It's basically a ritual where the young boy performs fellatio on the older male member of the tribe.
That's not what you said. You said he makes them consume semen.
Through
Now
how?
you're
What
changing.
do you
You're
think
moving
they
the
pour it in
goalpost.
a tin cup and like spoon feed it to them?
Well, that's how they give you your god's body and blood.
Good Lord. That's an entirely different, that's a false correlative. We're talking about
It's a whole
little
nother ritual
boys
that
going
you're
down on
comparing
older
apples to
men.
oranges here. You're trying to tell me
Good
about
Lord.
somebody's ritual and I'm supposed to condemn it, and I don't even know what the ritual is or how it's being used or what for. Beth, are we out of time, dear?
You're muted,
You're
Beth.
muted, babe.
Save us from this discussion.
You got like 30 seconds left. Paige, AVG was trying to put it as tactfully as she can, but
Right, but here's the thing: is their morals look wrong to you, but you sitting there talking about eating the body of Christ and drinking the blood of Christ is going to look bad to somebody else's morals. They're not
It's not
objective.
the same.
They are always subjective. You do not
Same.
get to say your morals are objectively right while other people's are not. Morals vary person to person, which makes them subjective. Period. Even within your church, some of the people in your church would argue that what you do coming up here and arguing on these channels, sometimes calling people names, would be immoral. Other people in your church would argue that there's nothing wrong with it. And that's within one church.
I haven't
You
heard
cannot say that morals are ever objective.
I have never heard that. I've literally never heard anybody other than like non-denom Christians and people who are atheists or people that aren't even Christian criticize the actions of someone like Andrew Wilson or Jay Dyer or any apologist online. It's just, it hasn't happened. Most of the dissenters are people who literally know nothing about the true faith. They're just haters. They're just haterated.
I'm saying, go ahead, Beth.
I thought we were kind of done. I mean, like the Eucharist talk is like off subject, anyways. But I think what she's trying to say is that, like, to people who aren't Christian or aren't familiar with it, if that's what they hear, then they'd be like, "Oh my God, you're cannibals," you know.
And I say to those people, don't get my faith out your mouth unless you know about it.
So, and that's the thing, is
You're
there's
talking shit about somebody else's faith out your mouth that you don't know about.
They are, exactly, and it's not like these would probably be like little tribes living out in the mountains who have no idea what the internet even is, right? So they never would be there.
It's highly documented.
But
that's all I'll say.
I'm saying anyone who has
Eucharist.
And I mean, and in all fairness, by the way, an interesting thing, like, even though like I was raised in a Christian household, like I was taught my whole life growing up that was something that idol worshippers did. Like dead serious. So like that was something I didn't fully learn about till I was much older. Just interesting little thing. But if y'all want to get to your closings, and then we can start taking some questions.
After
Which
closings, I'm going to need a break, guys. After closing, I'm going to need a 5-minute break because I have to go tinkle.
Absolutely. Do you want to
too.
do that first before?
No, we could do closings, and then while you figure out who's going to come up and whatnot, I'm going to skedaddle for me.
I will also use the loo.
So she went first in openings. Does she go first in closings, or do you?
I think I would, right? She went first in openings. I think I go first in closings. All right. Let me know when I can start.
Unless you want the last word, AVG.
Nah, that's yours, girl. All right. Let me know when I can go, Beth.
What the hell? Why is my... Okay, hang on. You know what? Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. I'm going to be pretty concise with this. Witchy said a lot about her position. In some cases, a bit too much, as my audience was raging throughout the entire debate. Truly, I mean, the key crux of her argument is that these people aren't worth saving. And everybody knows my position. If you can save one of these individuals, it's worth it to me. It's not too expensive. There's other parts of society who are, a drain on that society at some point in their lives, and we save those people. We keep those people alive. A human life has value, okay? Human life has value from conception, in my position. And I don't think that we should be the ultimate arbiters of whether or not somebody can be redeemed or recover. The fact that Witchy would take this so far as to even not have that benefit of Narcan for her own family, to me was particularly jarring. But I mean, it's not really a surprise considering her position. I only hope that Narcan continues to be available to individuals so that we can address this highly epidemic crisis and maybe, just maybe, save some people and get them off the streets. There's currently no other alternative. Witchy didn't have one. And I don't see how anybody is able to get treatment if they're dead. So with that, I see my time. Thank you, Beth, for having me. And thank you, Witchy, for a spirited debate once again.
Awesome. And thanks again for second debate here. You guys are great. I love having you both on. Whenever you're ready to start, Witchy, have at it.
Thanks, AVG, and thanks, Beth. So she stated it pretty clearly, and I didn't argue it, and I stated it clearly myself. Some people cannot be saved. The martyr complex that comes out in people when they say something like, if even one can be saved, God will save them. That's not my job. I am not God. I can't save them. I can't fix them. You can give them Narcan, but it's not going to do any good if you can't get them into treatment. And the statistics show that people who are given administered Narcan by a medical professional in a medical setting have a way higher chance of getting into actual treatment. The EMTs have come out, and I said it earlier, the EMTs have come out and said they're getting fatigue with what they're calling frequent flyers for being Narcan. They show up, they take their vitals, and they refuse medical treatment. They leave. 2 hours later, they're called back by another do-gooder who thinks they're saving somebody and gets to go home feeling good. That's what Narcan does. It gives the people who are do-gooders a feel-good that they did something, and it places a Band-Aid on a gaping wound and allows us to ignore the gaping wound. We're not pushing the proper treatment. We're not forcing people into situations where it's bad enough that they actually want to get treatment, because we're giving them a soft landing every time, and it's got to stop. Yes, some people are not worth saving. And again, thank you, AVG, and thank you, Beth.
Awesome. If you ladies want to drop the link on your individual, well, Denizen, if you want to drop it on yours, AVG on yours as well.
It's in the back, Beth?
And oh shit, that's right. You can't see it, can you?
Before you stop that, before you bring anybody else up, drop the closing poll so that it's not based on what some of these people are going to come up here and say, because some of them are going to be very angry at me. And if they want to come up and yell at me, Beth, they better pay you.
Yeah.
Be right
I'm
back.
definitely doing a grift break because this has been an absolutely painful fucking debate for me. I was trying so hard to pay attention, and I had a very moody man in the back who couldn't control his emotions. Look, there's one thing about my channel that I take a lot of pride in. Dusty, I see you. You're first, babe. I take a lot of pride in the fact that nobody is banned from my channel. Okay? Now, if you pick beef with somebody and you bring it to my channel and then you say, get up here, and they come up and you don't like what they have to say, that's not my fault. That's yours. So, yo, this is stupid. Stop it. That whole debate. I was, yeah. Don't play with me, Dusty. I'm in a mood right now.
I mean, I can't believe that you just jinxed the fuck out of that pride point. Like, you really were just like, hey, everybody, please come fuck with this and try to get banned.
That's a good question.
Tactical blunder, ma'am.
Not a bad idea. But then, I mean,
But no, I didn't hear any of the debate. I don't know if you've got a format or something. I just saw the link there, and I know that last time y'all were talking about these two were talking about whatever they're talking about. It just infuriated the whole internet for a minute.
Yeah, last time it was about eugenics. Tonight, the prompt was, should Narcan only be possessed and administered by medical professionals? And Witchy says yes, AVG says no.
Because AVG believes in saving the people, saving each soul, and Witchy says we should not be saving each soul.
Yeah, pretty much. So the only thing
Grid banned me. Grid's coming up here trying to get some of that.
Nikki says send them all to their maker and he'll sort them out.
You're right, right.
So, but my question would be, why is Nikki proactively preventing do-gooders from doing good if they wish to do good? Like, I kind of when you said that, what was he said? Something about people saying even one life, like that. I felt that resonated with me. There's a cringe amount of like pearl clutching virtue signaling if you could save just one life. But like, why would you actually, if somebody wants to be out there doing good, why would you go out of your way to inhibit that?
Because it's a deflection at this point. We're spending a bunch of money and a bunch of effort and a bunch of promotion that, Narcan saves lives, when in reality it doesn't get people into treatment and it doesn't actually save their lives. I put the numbers up in our back chat about how many more ODs we've had since Narcan was addressed, and how many annually, and how many more addicts we have annually, based on the statistics that the government puts out. We're not seeing Narcan having any effect on lasting treatment for anybody. So I'm not saying they should all just die. The ones who want to get treatment, we have that available. It's the Narcan itself is unfortunately, it's like the zombie renewal drug. Oh, we lost one zombie. Oh, damn it. He got revived.
Well, it's doing the wrong thing. You're trying to use a golf club like a hammer. Narcan doesn't cure people of addiction. It just keeps them alive, right? So it actually, if we've got more instances of overdose and more addicts, it would actually be an indicator that the Narcan is working for
no, overdose fatalities. We don't have statistics on actual just overdoses, only on fatalities, because a lot of those overdoses are happening outside of medical care.
Narcan?
What's that?
You have more fatalities post Narcan?
We have more overdose fatalities annually post Narcan.
How closely does the timeline there overlap with us leaving Afghanistan, which spurred the fent epidemic? Because there's a lot of moving parts at play here for this.
It's all right in 2017, so it's the same fucking shit. It's definitely a correlation for both of that.
Right.
No causation proved on any of this, just correlation.
So it's all the same shit.
Last chance on the poll on my side. Are you running one on yours, AVG? You're still muted, AVG.
I know, it's
just so you know.
Yeah, I am.
I like the male-female ratio here. This is a rare treat in the panel verse. What's up, ladies? Don't let any dudes up here. Fuck them.
Good lord.
Dusty is outnumbered.
I had a feeling
I don't think
you would like
sad about that.
Dusty, thank you for the subscription, by the way. I appreciate that.
Sure. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Yes, I did grid one. I did cook for everybody at
You
the
did
air.
grid one? Somebody clipped that.
I cooked up.
You got it, Tootie Bug. That one's yours.
Oh my God. I'm having a moment. Yeah, I cooked for everybody in Nashville. Okay. Yes. That's what I was saying.
But I guess back to the topic a little bit. I see Witchy's point for not having programs where we're out there. I don't think that people are entitled to Narcan. But if AVG and her church group want to go out and save some souls, on Sunday morning in the alleys, I don't know why you would actually use resources to prevent them from doing what they want to do in that case, because it takes resources to enforce laws as well.
Right, I can see where you're coming from on that, Dusty, and I can't completely argue it, but I can partially argue it in that you said AVG and her church ladies, but I'm going to leave her out of it. Just say a group of church ladies is not going to have the medical knowledge to even know what they're ODing on in the first place. So they might not save somebody. They might just end up traumatized by giving somebody who's ODing on meth a bunch of Narcan and thinking they're going to be God and save them.
Well, what probably would be a more realistic scenario is that they distribute Narcan to people who could use it, and junkies know how to find a vein, right? Like they will know how to use it. Church ladies might not.
Most Narcan is the nasal kind, anyways. You don't have to find a vein. It's more
I've been
of
out of
knowing.
the drug game for quite a while now, but
the Narcan now is a nasal spray. Anybody could
it's not
administer
like in
it. They're
Pulp
not hard to
Fiction.
use.
They're not stabbing them, spike into
Well,
someone's
that's
chest.
adrenaline.
That's
Or
that's what
epinephrine.
that's what we
epinephrine,
really
wasn't
should
it?
be using to.
But
God damn it!
my
Get
son
out of here!
just my son who's in that age group that he's got friends who carry Narcan, was telling me that the injectable, you don't even have to find a vein. It's like an EpiPen. You just stab it somewhere with fatty tissue.
Mm.
Oh my God. We put, like I was saying at the start of this, at like the Dollar General, they put in boxes full of Narcan doses, and within a couple of hours, they were all gone. And I'm telling you, it was the kids running around snatching them up. I cannot imagine for 1 second what kind of absolute shenanigans they'd get into with a bunch of injectable Narcan.
Well, I mean, I don't think Narcan's recreational.
Yeah, I know,
so
but yeah, I know that. But what I'm saying is teenagers do, come on. Teenagers.
Yeah, you're right. Teenagers.
I mean,
some
we used to
teenagers
Robo,
will do
for
anything.
heaven's sake. I mean,
Oh, we got
Robo was
AVG
fun,
for
Judy.
it high.
I'm surprised AVG didn't bring that up in the debate. The thing you said about kids having a bunch of Narcan. One of the cool things about Narcan is there are no known serious side effects. Even if you take a bunch of it, it doesn't get you high in any way. And
Yeah.
so it's not like a danger. The Narcan itself, in and of itself, isn't a danger having it running loose in society. The danger is we're putting a Band-Aid on this gaping wound and pretending that we've done something. And so if we don't remove that Band-Aid and actually tend to the wound, we're doing a greater harm to these addicts than good.
So I did raise
Well,
that.
that's.
Remember when I
I mean, that's a. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll be quick, promise. When I did say to you, I said, considering that there's no actual like issue with it, that they just need to get a hospital, and then if they don't and they continue to use, right, they're going to be dead anyway. What's the harm, right?
No, what I meant is like for somebody who doesn't need it. Like say some kids got a hold of it and they thought, oh, like kids get a hold of Benadryl these days, they're going to take it. And that can cause harm. But if kids got a hold of
I've never seen that happen though.
and took it, it's not going to cause harm to them if they're not ODing. That was my point.
Yeah, I just don't see that like happening. I've actually never heard of that happening, and I live in a pretty like wide area where like Narcan is
because
available.
it doesn't get you high. That's what I'm saying. It's not the product itself is not dangerous in and of itself.
Yeah, of course. I thought that was stated.
I knew people who used to get the the caffeine pills from the gas station, crush them up and snort them.
Oh, I used to crush them up and sell them and tell you it's Coke.
Like
No-dos. Oh my God, I haven't seen those in years.
fucking degens, man.
Wow.
Caffeine pills.
Can't believe
You call it degen, I say I'm an entrepreneur.
I'm a proud and
We're gonna
happy
realize-
degen. I live a happy degenerate life, and it makes me
You're
feel
gonna
good.
know.
I agree with that. I just don't know why you want to proactively take steps to kill the people just because it's not curing them of their addiction.
I don't want to proactively take steps to kill them. They're already killing themselves. I want the steps to be taken away for them to be constantly revived. I absolutely do not want you to go out and just kill people. They're killing themselves. It's the same argument with resuscitating and reviving people who have attempted self-deletion. If they're doing it to themselves, who are we to stop them? And why do we feel this need as a martyr to go out and save even just one life? Where does that come from?
If you're drowned, if you can't swim, let's just say you're black, and you're drowning in a pool, and I'm standing on the edge, spinning the floaty raft on my fingers, just watching you drown, I could probably get charged for that. In that case, you are actively going out of your way to withhold what could save somebody. I think that counts as killing in my
If you
book.
don't have the floaty though, can you be charged?
But in this case, you're trying to make floaties illegal.
No, I want to take the floaty away from anybody who doesn't know how to use the floaty and the treatment that's necessary after the floaty gets used. Because if you use the floaty and you pull that person out and you don't know how to clear the fluid from their lungs, what the fuck good did you do by giving them the floaty?
The floaty doesn't teach them swimming lessons. The floaty just gets them out of the pool right now.
Right, but they've already inhaled so much water, and you don't know how to pump the water out of somebody to revive them.
Well, I mean,
what good did the floaty do?
If you fuck up pumping the water out of them, the worst that could happen is exactly what would happen if you don't pull them out, right? Like you can't. All you can do is better at that point. But you're putting too much on the Narcan, right? The Narcan's got a very simple, short term. It solves one problem. It doesn't solve all the problems. It's not going to revive or rehab them. It's not going to teach them to be financially responsible. It's not going to fix their little codependency relationships or any of that shit. Get them off probation. You're doing too much. It doesn't make sense why you would put so much more on one little part of the whole process. Why are you dragging other things into that part? Like, yes, there were addicts before. There'll be addicts after the Narcan. But that has nothing to do with the Narcan intervention. The Narcan works.
So in my personal experience, day to day, having to wade through the fentanyl zombies in the street, most of whom have had Narcan multiple times, I want them gone. And I'm
You're
okay
tired
with
of these
saying
motherfuckers hanging out in your lawn.
Not on my lawn, but in front of the grocery store when I have to walk in. The fact of the matter is, I can't go to the bathroom at a gas station in the city I live in because so many people have OD'd in their damn bathrooms that they just don't let customers use them anymore. They don't even they have locks on a lot of them. But a lot of them, they just put up an out of order sign in front of their bathrooms after 7 p.m. because they've had so many people OD in them. I'm all for letting them call themselves. I'm not saying we need to go out and call them, but let them call themselves from the herd.
There's been so many ODs in the gas station bathrooms here that they are not open to the public, period. They are all closed in every single gas station down in the city. But on that note, I mean, like, I want to give Dark Deaconess a chance to give some pushback, but I did also, and after her, there's something I wanted to point out. But she was up here first. I want to, by all means, you had something you wanted to share?
Yeah, I do. So I do have let me back over here. Let me pop it out. Okay.
God
you
damn
have
it,
a study here from.
Hey,
it was released in 2026.
AVG on. Real quick before we go any further, the poll on my side is currently. I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. In fact, actually, oh shit,
It's not. Is it closed out yet?
It's gone. It's like just.
Oh, it was still there. It was a matter of the StreamYard link got put over the top of it. 64% AVG. I'm gonna give it just another minute because I didn't realize that it may have gotten.
What did you put as the end poll? Did you put the question again, or did you put?
I just put who won. Should I have put the question back in there, or I just simply left it?
Well, it doesn't give us a change in who might have convinced anybody of anything, but AVG wants the who won, so make sure that poll is perfectly fine.
Emmett, I'm very, very sorry, sir. 10 minutes. Dusty is enjoying his male to female ratio.
I ain't having these young fellows move in on my harem.
Well, and if you keep him up here, Deaconess won't get a chance because Emmett wants to attack me. I knew he would watch. He said yesterday, I might not even watch your debate. I'm like, bullshit. You'll be there. Go ahead, Deaconess. Come at me.
Well, I'm not gonna like come at you, but I have some information that I would like to share with you. So Beth, I shared it.
Coming right up. Sorry.
Yep.
I was closing out the poll. Okay. Real quick, so I don't have to write it down. AVG won with the poll with 62%. 38% to Witchy.
So
That's closer than I expected.
Same with the last debate
Yeah.
we did.
This is a KFF.org article, the opioid overdose deaths, national trends and variations by demographics and states. If you're literate in here, you can read that, and I'm going to show you the date. So this article was published on February 24th of 2026. Most of the data, I believe, was gathered up to 2024 or 2026, 2024. I'm actually not going to read through all of this because right down here, there are the key takeaways from the up of there. So overall trends, opioid overdose deaths fell sharply from 2023 to 2024, 79,358 to 54,045, driven largely by decreases in fentanyl-involved overdose. Even after these declines, deaths remained above 2019, the year before opioid deaths increased sharply during the pandemic. So the opioid epidemic, the emergency was 2017, I believe, is when that was declared. So down here, demographic variation. So in 2024, opioid death rates were the highest among those aged 26 to 64. You've got Asian, Black people, and males. All demographic groups saw declines in opioid death rates from 2023 to 2024. However, most groups still had higher rates in 2024 than in 2019. So state variations, you have these specific states. You see what they've done with their per capita here. Range from 3.3 per 100,000 in Nebraska to 38.6 per 100,000 in West Virginia. And then from 2023 to 2024, opioid death rates fell across all states, with the largest drops in Virginia going down 44%, in Wisconsin going down 44%, and West Virginia going down 46%. About half of states remained above 2019 levels, which may reflect differences in the timing of fentanyl spread in state policy. So I want you to tell me where in here you're seeing that the opioid overdose deaths are increasing everywhere. That's not the data that I see.
Okay, so in your article, you're talking about the changes between 2023 and 2024. When I discussed this, I went back to 2017 when Narcan was first becoming as readily available as it is now. Let me finish. Don't cut me off. Let you talk. Be respectful. So in 2017, the number of opioid-related overdose deaths was around 54,000, whereas in 2024 it was around 72,000. So from when they were released until the height of the opioid epidemic, for those 10 years, Narcan's been available, and yet there showed an increase in the number of deaths related to opioid overdose. And I can
So
pull those up.
I understand that you're, but you said that they didn't decline when in fact they did.
They've only declined due to Narcan, because Narcan's been available for 10 years and it was on a steady increase until the last year.
When a lot of areas have made Narcan a lot more available, have they not?
We were talking about it becoming available over the counter without a medical professional having to administer it. And that was at the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, that the legislation was passed so that it could be administered without a medical professional. I'm not saying that Narcan is a bad thing. I'm saying that it should be administered by the medical professionals like it was before.
So do you think that all of the lives that were saved and that those individuals were saved, you don't care that those people were saved? I didn't want to do a morality thing, but do you not care that those people were saved?
I do care. I wish they weren't. I care a lot. I wish they weren't.
Okay, I'll stop sharing because I guess the fact that rates do decrease, even though they may go back up, even though they decrease, that means nothing to you. So this is.
But they've only decreased in the last year, not over the whole period where Narcan was available. What's happened in the last year to decrease it is Trump blew up a bunch of fucking fentanyl in the middle of the ocean, dude. So we got less of it available.
No,
that is not the only reason. That is a horrible reach, Witchy. That's a horrible reach.
Yeah.
The
We have a
hold on a minute. The access to a drug that can reverse withdrawal or that can reverse overdose has something to do with the rates that were declining because they became accessible. The Narcan became accessible in areas that were impacted at a greater level. They became more accessible. I know you guys don't like these vending machine Narcan machines, but
Yeah.
that's the type of
do.
access that areas they didn't used to have access, they got access. West Virginia is one of the
Yeah.
most horrible states for the opioid epidemic. Did you see 44 fucking percent, Witchy, in 1
Excuse me.
year?
Real quick, Dusty, I'm so very sorry, dear, but you got 10-minute timeout.
Who did that?
Yes,
Someone
make
else
that money.
for it. I see it. Thank you.
Oh no.
I'm gonna get spanked for that later. Thank you so very much.
I don't want to know
Speak
what
to the
goes on.
CDC.
As much as I don't like the dispensers, I actually agree with you. And I worked in healthcare for a long time. I've known a lot of people who are on medications, and I've watched people. Oh, and Emmett, you're back up too. Sorry, dear. People who have been on pain medications gotten cut off by their providers, and then ended up going to heroin or other. You got it. Dusty has
Witchy,
revived himself.
Witchy, do you think that I'm a waste of space? Do you think I'm a wasted life saved?
You personally,
it's
I
too
don't
easy.
know you enough to say if you are or not.
There are
But you
people with
don't know those
injuries.
people. Hold on. You don't know those people either, and you call them a waste of life. I am sitting in front of you, a fully recovered opioid addict. Was I a waste of saving?
Emmett,
Was I
Danny,
a waste
sorry
to
guys.
save?
Yell at Dusty. Sorry, gentlemen.
Big bank's gonna take little bank, boys.
I'm not taking
There,
it
I moved
personally,
you.
but like I'm asking you.
Did
do
you get?
think
Were you
does it
given
matter?
Narcan? Were you given Narcan by a
Does it
friend
matter?
or
Does it
someone off
matter?
the street?
Does it
Yes,
matter?
it does. Because my
No,
point
actually,
is
it
that
doesn't.
not everybody can be saved from
I
opioids.
want to
I'm
point.
saying
Hang
that
on.
you can't be
No,
saved
you don't know where my
without
addiction
Save-A-Ho.
took me.
Ladies.
You don't know where my addiction took me, Witchy. So you
Excuse
don't
me,
know.
ladies. There's something else I just wanted to finish pointing
You're
out.
echoing, Beth.
I didn't hear you, but hang on, Judy.
You were echoing.
Oh, it was echoing. Well, I
There
don't
you
know
go.
why.
There
I
you
don't
go.
care. As long as I'm not now. I agree with you because here's the thing too: is when you look at people who have chronic pain issues, sometimes it's really easy to take a dose of medication, lay down for a nap because you're in fucking horrific pain. You wake up and you're in blinding pain, and you don't realize it's only been an hour. And take another one. I've known lots of people that's happened to.
That's why they give
Freaking out.
Narcan. That's why they give Narcan with opiates,
They
Witchy.
do.
Because opioids can build up in your system and you can just, and after a surgery, like she said, if you don't
Holy
have someone
shit.
else there that can remind you, hey, I know you're in a lot of pain, but you just took a pill 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
And you
When
need
I
to
had
wait 6. There's a reason that you're supposed to wait that many hours. It's to avoid the buildup that when you go to sleep, your respiratory system is being suppressed by this drug. You go to sleep and it slows down even more, and then you just stop breathing. And because you just had a surgery and was prescribed a prescription drug to keep you from the pain, you took it as prescribed and then woke up 5 hours in pain before you should have taken it. You take it, you go back to sleep, and then you die. Is that
Who's going to give you the Narcan then? You just said there's nobody there to help you watch your dosing on your opiates.
thing
So
is-
who's going to give you the Narcan? Just because you have it doesn't mean you're going to use it. If you OD, you ain't going to give yourself the Narcan.
No. They give you instruction. They instruct you on if this happens and this is how you start to feel, this is when you take the Narcan. They don't just hand you fucking Narcan, Witchy. Like, I'm so grateful.
Really? Because I just recently got it and nobody gave me any instructions on what to do with it.
So, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. But here's the thing: is
if you took the extra pill and you laid it you're not going to need to give yourself Narcan.
Given a prescription of Narcan,
there's an echo.
Perhaps that's my next debate.
Were you given a prescription of Narcan with a prescription of an opiate?
Yes.
Did you decline to speak with the fucking pharmacist?
No, they made me wait 45 minutes while they brought some Narcan over from the other store, and they didn't even bother to explain it to me at all. She goes, "Oh, I got the Narcan."
No. That's illegal, and your pharmacist will get in trouble. They have to offer you the opportunity to speak to the pharmacist. If you sign the little sign or the line that says that I refuse, I don't want to speak to the pharmacist, then you have done that to yourself.
Never got offered to speak to a pharmacist, but I'm not going to get into anecdotal argument with you. What I'm going to say is, Deaconess.
Pharmacy board. Oh my God! You understand that that's a violation of the board of pharmacy?
They violate shit all the time. I'm not going to argue with you about that. What I'm going to offer is, Deaconess, what you have given me as my next position on my next debate is that opiates could only be administered by medical professionals.
All right, excuse me, Money Talks. Emmett is back up, and he has a $10 insurance, and Dusty, sweetie, your name's getting changed.
To what? By who?
I just want to say real quick, Dusty.
Hey, Emmett, hold on. I'm gonna filibuster you until I can move the money over.
You are not the only one that has to deal with.
I'm the only one.
You're not the only one.
I'm the only fucking one, Emmett.
Okay, you have to deal with dumbasses on your side too. Oh, by the way, Witchy, I said I was probably not gonna come to but I will watch it. Absolutely, will watch this debate. I just said I was probably not gonna come on panel.
Emmett, how's the toe sucking going lately?
Oh, it's a lot better than whatever the fuck is happening right now on your side, huh? Oh my God, so fucking stupid. Oh no.
Wait. Who's on Dusty's side? Because AVG isn't on Dusty's side, and I'm not on Dusty's side. So.
Oh no! I was telling him he has to deal with the stupid people like you.
Which side? What is the controversy we're choosing sides on?
Remember when you come and you're telling me, "Oh well, what do you think about a person who has been redacted?" And you have to deal with him being a dumbass. Well, apparently you also have to deal with dumbasses, which I find funny.
I don't. Okay, can you be specific and not use these generalities?
No, I cannot be that specific.
Okay, then you know what, Beth? I'm just sitting here. Get rid of his credit and him.
Yeah.
Mr.
Wait, Dusty, when did I become one of your disciples? I don't even fucking hardly know.
I don't even know what position we're.
Okay, do you wanna?
Yeah, fuck off, Taco Boy.
Oh Lord.
You about to fuck around and find out.
I just want to clarify the foot sucking thing was a rumor created by somebody who clearly likes feet more than they should. Okay, because only a person who has a foot fetish would think it's such a horrible rumor.
Have you ever had your toe sucked?
Sorry?
Have you ever had your toe sucked?
Lord, no. I don't even the only time I take off my socks is for when I have a shower. I don't want to see my own feet. I don't want to see other people's feet. I don't want people to see my feet. I don't want to look at my feet. I don't want to look at other people's feet. I like to keep my feet covered at all times. I have a foot anti-fetish. I am adverse to feet.
Your feet are nasty, aren't they?
No, actually, they're fine, but they're feet.
What the?
There's something wrong with feet. They also, did you know that
nothing
feet
wrong
have,
with feet.
Okay, I'm not going to get into foot facts. Everybody knows my foot fact information.
I do know your foot fact.
Poor Danny.
Anyway, Deaconess, I don't know if you want to maybe even be the person I challenge for this. I think my next debate on the affirmative that opiates
need
to only be administered by medical professionals.
Administered?
You're ridiculous.
Like you've got to go to the
I would never take that debate because it's ridiculous.
Witchy,
fucking retarded.
What about would you ban chemotherapy?
Would I ban chemotherapy? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Really?
Having been through it, I will never do it again. I'll die before I do that shit again.
Would you ban penicillin?
No.
Why? Why would you save people from infection?
Doctors already have to administer that because chemotherapy does as much damage to your body as it does good in fighting cancer, and sometimes more damage to your body than it does good in fighting cancer.
I'm trying to figure. What I'm trying to figure out is, are you trying? Does your position circle around to any good, or are you just actively pursuing bad? You might just actively be pursuing things that conventionally considered bad.
No, I honestly believe that opiates should be administered by medical professionals. Everybody here just
Why?
told me you might accidentally take a wrong dose if you're not supervised when you're taking them. Or people become addicted because they're misusing opiates that are prescribed to them. So perhaps what we need to do in order to fight the opioid epidemic is make it so that you have to show up, just like the methadone people have to show up to the clinic. If you're on pain meds, you got to show up to the clinic to get your meds every day.
If I break this jar, I could accidentally cut my wrists and bleed out. If I am not responsible with this lighter, the whole house could burn down.
Right. So
I mean, these
is the government
are absurd.
to provide you with butterfly stitches in case you accidentally cut yourself?
What I want is
the government provide you with Narcan in case you accidentally
I want a fully
yourself?
trained nurse to come and pour water in my mouth for me.
You're literally comparing apples to oranges, because the fact of the matter is these guys are sitting here telling me that they need the Narcan in case somebody accidentally overdoses. Well, you could accidentally cut your hand on that glass. I'm not responsible for that any more than you accidentally overdosing yourself.
Let me come at you from a different perspective. As a mother,
There's that card.
Teenage kids, right?
She already came at me as a
They
mother
already
and
tried that.
I
She
gave
said
the answer.
Oh, that was a-
Yeah,
I
she
was just
said-
asking.
I
I
didn't
I
wanted
already
to know if it was
answered
something
that,
close to
Judy, and
you.
everybody knows my answer. It's the same answer I give all the time when I talk about eugenics. What if it were you and your kids? Oh, well.
Okay, if
So
it was
be it.
your kid and you
Oh,
had
well.
Narcan in your purse and they were overdosing in front of you, would you give it to them?
If I had Narcan in my purse, why
would
wouldn't
you
I?
give
But
it
I
to
don't
you
think I
over-
should have Narcan in my purse.
Well, why would you give it to them even if you had it? If you thought
Because
they
there's
were
nothing wrong with having
life?
Narcan. There's nothing wrong with
They're a waste
using
of
Narcan.
life. There's no reason to save your kid if you have the Narcan. They're just a waste of space like every other junkie, Witchy.
See, here's the thing.
I thought I was
If you're
You're
talking
saving
about,
somebody
if
else.
you're talking about if Narcan were not able to be possessed except for by a medical professional, and I had it, I'm already doing something wrong.
Would you give Narcan to a stranger if you had it in your purse and you walked over?
Absolutely not.
Oh, what makes them different from your child, Witchy?
Because there's liability associated with I don't know what the fuck
Call
you're doing, and it's a
911.
medical
Then
procedure.
call
Oh, I'd probably call 911, but I'm not going to give them Narcan.
Good Samaritan laws.
But you would give it to your child if they were overdosing and you had it in your purse.
It's because as their adult parent,
No, you don't
I
have no liability is the
administer medical
same.
treatment to my
Once they
children,
turn 18,
when
they're
I don't
completely
to a
separate
stranger.
from you.
It's just like I have
There's no
CPR, and if I walk
difference,
past a stranger
There is no
in the
difference.
street who needs
There is-
CPR, I'm not giving it
There's
to
no
them.
I
difference.
can't understand.
There is a difference, though. I mean, like,
There's
I would.
not. There's not. She said that every other junkie is a waste of space and doesn't deserve Narcan. If it's her child, her child is a junkie too. So
And if my rules were passed, I wouldn't have the Narcan to give to my
I
kid.
don't know how
But
far
if I
down.
got it, why
I
wouldn't I
don't
give
know
it
how
to them?
far
That's
down
fucking
your rock
stupid.
bottom was, lady, but it obviously wasn't far enough.
Or it might have been
Fuck
too far.
that. Yeah, I don't know.
Dang.
And here come the
I don't know
outcome.
what
Bring
made
it.
you
Bring
lose
it.
all your compassion for individuals who suffer from the same thing you do, but it's fucking weird. It's
I
fucking
haven't lost
weird.
my compassion for people who
Yes,
suffer.
you
I have
think
lost my tolerance for people who don't want to fix anything in their lives and who keep getting handed out the means to
How
save
long were
themselves
you
and
an
be a
active
nuisance.
alcoholic? How long were you an active alcoholic?
Let's see, the first time for 12 years, then I got clean for 5 years and sober,
Oh.
and then after that for another almost 20
I'm
years.
so glad that nobody thought that somebody, at least some fucking body, one person, thought of you as something other than a wasted fucking wino. You know what
No,
I'm
nobody
saying?
did shit for me.
Really? So you're telling me that you got sober without any help from anyone or anything else?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
Oh.
nobody got me sober but me and God.
Oh, you didn't
No
have
human being
resources to
had the power. If a human being had the power, I could have done it myself.
Oh, so
That's what
the
I'm
thing
saying is no human
but the
being has
thing
the
is
power to get
you
anybody
should've
else
just
clean and
ended
sober.
it the first time you relapsed. That's what your logic is.
Yeah.
You
Oh, I
should've
probably
just
should
ended
have.
it.
I probably should have, but that's a whole nother conversation.
From
don't-
your logic,
what?
that's what you're saying.
I
You
never
can't
OD'd
get
on
well.
alcohol. I never OD'd
You
on
never
alcohol
blacked
for anybody to
out?
have
You
to
never
save me.
blacked out? You never blacked out? You're
I
an
never
alcoholic
OD'd
for
when
that long?
somebody had to save me.
You never blacked out on alcohol, Witchy?
I did, but nobody came with a miracle
You-
drug to try and save me.
Did you ever go to the hospital for alcohol poisoning?
Woo!
No.
Yeah.
You're better than
You're muted.
wino. Better than junkies because you're a wino. What the fuck is wrong with you, lady?
No, I had to save myself, and anybody addicted has to save themselves. You cannot Captain Save-A-Ho over
Wait.
here, honey. You
Wait
can't
a
save
second.
anybody.
But wait a second. Now, even I'm going to push back some because there are situations where, quite frankly, there is no saving yourself. It becomes a the circumstances can become such that you cannot function without having that crutch there. Not because you're looking to get high, because after time, the meds don't even get you high anymore. It's strictly for management of nerve pain, bone pain, cancer pain. Like, there's 1,000 things that land people on pain meds, on opioids for the rest of their fucking lives.
And I want to stress
All the
that
time.
if you
And
talk
I
to
pray to God that we find something different for you.
if you talk to anybody who's
Give her some benzos. That's a
can you
miserable
guys
come
not
down.
hear me? Can you guys not hear me? Am I not
We
coming?
hear you.
Yeah, go ahead,
Sorry
AVG.
about that.
Okay.
All the ex-addicts are all freaking out around here.
There is no hierarchy of addicts in my view. Like, if you,
Actually, that's false. There's
okay,
yeah,
well,
there is.
let me explain.
Yeah,
Any
Dusty will tell you.
because everybody
Yeah.
knows everybody. Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna say, like, yeah, the junkie that's like, it's like doing crack on the side of the alleyway is different.
proper
than the-
alcoholics and benzos are at the top. Like physical alcoholics and benzos are the top ones.
Okay, but if you talk to anybody who's a functioning addict, i.e., somebody, apparently there's functioning math heads. There's a lot of people like I'm not going to name any names, but like, obviously I have a decent amount of friends. I've known people before where they've been functioning tchotchke heads, and they'll tell you that the only difference between them and the person on the
What's
street.
tchotchke?
Tchotchkes is another name for the booger sugar. They'll tell.
Must be some Canadian shit.
It's Canadian slang. They'll tell you that there's very little difference
First I hear
between.
it.
They will tell you that there's very little difference between them and the homeless crack addict on the street. The only difference is that they have access to a better drug, they have money, they have a job. For some reason, they handle the substance better than other people, and they also have a support network. To separate yourself in any circumstance of addiction from somebody who you think is lesser or addicted to something that you find distasteful is a grave mistake, and one that I think karma will address at some point in your life.
Well, and here's where you're wrong, though, is I'm not separating myself. If I were to become in that position, I wouldn't want somebody to be giving me Narcan either. So that's
I
where
would
you're
give you
wrong.
Narcan just to spite you.
So you don't value your own life.
Dusty.
You don't value your own life.
I don't think that life is this end all be all. Why are you people so afraid of death? I thought you were
I'm
going
not
to
afraid
God
of
when
death.
you died.
I'm not afraid of
doomers.
death, but I definitely don't want to go out because I did something to cause it, like purposely, or if there was
Then
a
you
way to
don't
Or
do it.
accidentally.
Don't do it.
Most
So
people
I don't,
who
Beth, hold on, Beth, I want to say something to you real quick. A physiological addiction to a pain medication is not the same as somebody who's eating 15 fucking Oxycontins a day, okay? You are not like that. You do it because it helps you, because your doctor gives it to you. You take it responsibly. You don't misuse and you don't abuse it. You are not an addict in the way that we are talking. You are.
I don't know. You haven't seen her when she comes up with that spoon there.
You are physiologically addicted to a substance because it's treating something for
Let's
you.
just roll back here. You just said that you try to tell me I'm no better than that drug addict, but now Beth, who uses drugs on a regular basis, you're
she's
trying
not.
to defend her
No,
from
she's not
feeling that
making-
she's that.
Right.
The vast majority of people who overdose do it accidentally under doctor
I understand, but
supervision.
I want
That's what I'm
you.
telling
True.
Okay. Yes, it is. Yes, it fucking is.
Let me know when I can talk, okay?
And
Man, I've been trying to drop you down all night.
Eventually, I'll get
No.
Stop it,
Beth.
Dusty.
I won't go
Thank
with
God.
that.
Yet.
I really like the hostile female energy. Now all
I
these
bring it
fucking up are
everywhere
down
I
here.
go with a smile on my face, Dusty.
So,
You
but
can
you
follow
talk
me
about
around.
Got
women,
them
they
all
call me
riled
the
up
one who
here.
hates everybody.
It's
I
good
like
loot.
to use an ad hom. I don't yell at
when
them.
you don't value your
But I'm
own
the
life,
meanie.
when you don't value your own life, you definitely project that shit onto other people, and you don't value your own life. That's
What
sad.
about, what about life? Are you asking me if I value just the life itself? I'm a quality over quantity person. Life itself is not
I can tell
innately
you right now that I've
valuable on its own.
experienced some pretty bad shit, but I can tell you I've experienced more good shit than bad shit, and so have you. So have
Dark
you.
side. Dark side. Don't you think that your response is kind of reinforcing her lack of value of self?
Like, how do you mean? And maybe I'm being stupid, but how do you mean?
Because you're her position, which doesn't value the things that you value, is offensive enough to you that you're attacking her in a way that would indicate that you agree with her that she's not valuable. See,
No.
it's kind of
No.
That's kind of
I know that's not what you're explicitly saying,
No.
but it can be deduced from sort of
From the
attitudes.
way that I'm speaking, my tone.
You're just saying, Dusty,
Oh,
they
my
dig their
tone.
own graves. You don't have to warn her. Let her
This
keep
tone
digging her
follows
grave.
me everywhere, so I don't know what
These
to say.
people speak with hatred and ad
Do I
hom,
look like
and they
I have
try and tell
hatred?
me I'm gonna let my kids die.
I feel fucking
And
sorry.
Emmett calls me a
Come on.
baby killer.
sorry for
I'm the one with
Dusty.
hate in my heart, Dusty.
I
Too
feel
many
sorry
people
for
talking
you.
about it.
Yes, Dusty,
Witchy.
Witchy the way,
I
Dusty.
I
Come
need to go
on.
before Greg comes in.
I am gonna go. I have taken probably double my time, and I appreciate you, Beth, for that. But I'm gonna drop off. Let somebody come up.
Oh, You're
Yeah,
more
it's
than
fine.
welcome. I mean, there's still more room if you want to stick around.
I'll stay. I'll just shut up.
You're not stopping anybody, and I'm
I'll
glad
shut
you
up.
came up. You've had
No,
your
this
reasons.
isn't my show.
I do have a question, which is interesting. Witchy, do you believe in EpiPens?
Do I believe in EpiPens? What the fuck
Yeah,
kind of
do you
question
believe
is
that
that?
everybody
They
should have
exist.
one of
I
those,
don't
like-
need to
I have
believe
one of
in them.
those.
EpiPens are conspiracy theory.
Do you
For when
think that
somebody
everybody-
gets an allergic reaction to a bee sting.
I don't
Yeah.
believe in EpiPens. They don't exist.
No, I mean, do you believe that people should have access to them freely?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the problem with Narcan? It's the
I
exact same thing.
delineated it very clearly. The majority
No, you
of
did
people
not.
getting the Narcan are
You
not
did
people
not.
who are seeking to improve their situation. People who need an EpiPen aren't people who are going out and eating shrimp that they know they're allergic to so they can get a fucking EpiPen and eat shrimp again.
EpiPen has a much stronger
hold
reaction on you.
It's also more expensive.
Hold on. That's not true, first of all. And second, even if it were true, the number of people who get accidentally poisoned by fentanyl is on the rise. And without Narcan being freely available, those people do something that we call dying. And it's bad.
Everybody dies.
But the Narcan doesn't work on the fentanyl. It only works on the other opiates that are mixed with it.
That's true too. But
Let's just be perfectly
very
clear here,
weird.
Grid.
It's
I
just
get
very
what you're
weird that
asking me,
on
and
the
let
one
me
hand-
answer.
on
Let
the
me
one hand,
answer your
everybody-
veiled question. Let
I'm
me
sorry,
answer
what?
your veiled question, okay?
It's not a
Let me
veiled
answer
question.
your
It's a very
veiled
direct
question here. I don't think that everybody in the world should be carrying around an EpiPen in their pocket just because somebody might have an allergic reaction.
Nobody's talking about everybody carrying a.
That's what we're doing now.
Narcan.
Fentanyl's being handed out to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You don't give
That's the
EpiPens
dumbest thing
to
you've said
everybody
yet.
to carry around just in case they run into somebody who's having an allergic reaction.
No,
And that's what
no,
we're
they have
doing
to
with
buy it.
Narcan.
You have to buy the EpiPens. Here in Canada, they're anywhere from $300 to $400 a pen.
My daughter's EpiPens cost like $900 a piece.
The pharmacy usually only hands out Narcan to people with prescriptions for opioid
The
pain
pharmacy, but we have. You
except
just
for
said you have
these boxes I was
dispensers.
talking- Hang on. But in all actuality, if somebody was looking for a good time, you'll have a better time on an EpiPen than you will a Narcan.
Right, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about here. You say that they put a dispenser in the fucking Family Dollar for Narcan.
That's
You're
new.
walking around the street, Joe Schmo, handing them out to people every day in this country. We don't do that with EpiPens. You don't have people carrying an EpiPen in their purse if they're not allergic to anything. Just in case when they're at walking down the street, they might see somebody who's having an allergic reaction.
But you're the only one saying that everybody on the block is going to have a Narcan. pen.
They do. Do you know how much fucking Narcan is out there? My mom's my late mother.
Does anybody on the panel have Narcan? Hold on. Does anybody on the panel have Narcan on them right now?
I do not.
I probably
Narcan
have an
in my
expired
Not
one
Narcan,
somewhere.
but I got the other stuff, naloxone.
I've got some fentanyl test strips, but no Narcan.
This stuff here.
I got
Yeah,
needle
that's
and
one,
inhaler.
Danny,
Yeah,
that's
Danny's
Narcan.
got naloxone. I've got Narcan. Beth's got Narcan.
1/3 of the panel has Narcan.
Mine is
Our
expired,
clean,
but I
our
have it.
clean injection sites here give out meth pipes too, which is weird.
Yeah, they give those in those little
They give
kits I
them
was
out
talking
here,
about.
You
too.
can get those at
Yeah,
the
like-
fucking gas station, Dusty. Come on.
That's not preventing anything. That's just a party pack at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but we're
The
not talking about
Narcan
that. We're
isn't
talking about
preventing
Narcan.
anything. It's just
So why do you hate
party pack
partying?
now.
Partying's awesome.
I'm not against partying. I'm against fucking
I'm
dealing
against
with
partying
people
with
who are
opioids.
zombified because their partying is affecting other people around them now. Go party all you want.
Then why don't you practice
They can
one
go
of
and do
those
it all they
12
want.
steps and go out there and spread the message of recovery? Isn't that one of your steps, Witchy? Spreading
I
the message
do.
of recovery?
I do. How many-
This is not spreading the message
many
of fucking
rehabs-
recovery, dude. Not
How
at
many
all.
rehabs? How many rehabs have you led a meeting in? How many rehabs have you led a meeting in?
industry. I worked in the industry. I
How
lived
many
the fucking
rehabs?
life.
How many rehabs have you led a meeting in? How many outreach programs have you been on? How many times
I
have you
worked
been
in
on the
the
12 steps?
industry, lady. I lived the life. I worked in the industry. What the fuck are you saying?
She
The
said
rehab industry or the like.
Yeah,
just
we
fentanyl.
I'm asking you. You're
I
telling me
worked
that
in
I
the
haven't done it.
rehab,
I'm asking you. That's the
alcohol
difference.
rehab industry. I
I'm
was
gonna
a member
get out of
of
here, but before I go, I want to congratulate Paige on once again dressing very nicely for
Thank
a
you.
debate, which I think is something that needs to be a theme instead of like not.
Really getting that pull.
Sorry.
Thank you, Greg.
Good.
He's just changing the subject, man. What,
Yeah,
you
he's
didn't
changing
catch that?
You look very
Yeah.
nice, AVG.
Thank you.
Just as a way
At any
to
rate,
say-
Grit is
I'm gonna
known- Grit
run.
is
You
known
guys
for
have a great
throwing
rest of
water
your
on
night.
fire.
Narcan-
Enjoy your very strange ass argument, and I will.
Thanks,
I'll see you guys
Greg.
later.
Bye.
Yeah, Grit is known for throwing water on fires. That's his MO. He likes to cool the
I
room.
have up to this point successfully recovered from my addictions to substances. And I definitely don't go around telling other people who have suffered the same thing that they are wastes of space and they should just die. I definitely don't do that. And I never
But who's
said
not
that to an
telling anybody
individual.
that?
I never.
We're talking about a group, not individuals. See, this is where you guys mess up. Is
A
that
group
we're
is made
talking
up of
about a
individuals.
broad idea, and you take it down to the individual.
You
The
just
people that I
tried-
deal with in
just
recovery
tried
are
to
people
dis-
who want to recover. I don't just go
trying
to the
to
bar
say
and
that
start picking up
you
drunk.
have done more. How many meetings have you held? How many
I didn't
rooms
say
have
I've
you
done
held?
more. I never said
All right,
I
hold
did
on.
more. I never even implied I did more.
What
I
message
asked
are
you
you
about yours.
sending?
Wilchie,
Ladies.
hold on,
Members
Wilchie,
of AA
you're
watching right now, what message is this woman sending to you? People who are in recovery, what message is this woman sending you right now? Is she sending you a message of recovery, or is she sending you a message of there is no hope?
I mean, I don't know that I'm dependent on her message. Like it's.
I understand that. I understand. But in the 12 steps,
Yeah.
one of your responsibilities is to go out and spread the message of recovery and to share this opportunity with other people, which is not what she is doing right now at all. At all.
That is true. She's going against Big Book.
How is it going against Big Book? Big Book actually says that if somebody shows up and they tell me they want to go drink, to buy them a drink. It's literally in the Big Book.
What?
The Big Book doesn't say I can save anyone. The Big Book says God saves people. And all I can do is hold God's hand long enough, and
Do you know
hopefully
why it
somebody
says
else will
that?
take
Do you
my
know why
hand.
it
Hang
says
on,
that?
Dusty's been trying to speak.
It's okay.
Go
They're
ahead.
gonna like. I
Okay.
don't want to like. They got this.
Okay,
I got
Dusty, do you know why the book puts it that way? Do you know why it tells them to do that?
I
Because
don't.
You have to want it.
What it does is it's another way of extending your ear to the person to listen. You're telling that person that you are willing to sit down and have a conversation with them, even if that means keeping you right there with them, means giving them a beer. They may not even drink it, my sister. They may not even touch it.
This is why
That's why
I
that's
think I
there.
didn't like the
This is
12
all
steps
the
because
big
it's too like feely or something for me. I don't know.
Hi, Dennis.
I will
Sorry
say-
about that.
My chat would like to know what page in the Bible you're referring to, Witchy. Are you able to provide an exact reference? I think
What page in the Bible? What?
uh,
We're talking about the Big Book.
Yeah,
the big book
that's
is in
not
the
the
Bible.
big book that Dusty was referring to. He was
That is
referring to
not the Big Book, honey. We're not talking about the Bible.
The AA
Big
Big
Book
Book,
of
Alcohol
Alcohol
Anonymous.
oh, is that what
Yes,
you mean,
AA
Leah?
Big Book.
Okay,
Yeah.
what page is that in the AA book?
I don't
What
fucking
page is
know.
what?
Hold on.
Your
I have no idea what
your
you're
reference for your
asking.
What
statement.
page does it tell you to give him a beer?
I
I
just
don't
want
know,
to
tell
say
me
real
to Google
quickly that Narcan does work on Fent.
Hey, Diddy.
It's working. It's
It was my
I was also
understanding
confused by that.
Narcan worked on Fent as
it's
well.
in
That's
the
what I was
it's in the
like, that's what I was
chapter
like,
working. It's in the
It
chapter
takes-
working with others.
It takes
That's
more.
all
I can't give you
I'm
any
gonna-
page
No.
number.
I've never been to
Make
AA.
sure.
I
so-
have every
You have to have
page of
more.
the big book memorized. I don't
Why
know
not?
many people who do.
Yeah, just tell them to Google the fucking phrase and figure it out. I don't know. Nobody knows. I quit going to meetings after I got out of rehab. Fuck that
All I'm
shit.
saying is in the big book, it's very clear the concept that you have to want it. In AA, we even say you're a member because you want to quit, not because
Right.
you can quit, but because you want to quit. The desire is
You
important.
realize that
Without
the desire doesn't mean recovery, right?
By
right,
the
but
way,
without the desire, there is no recovery.
Desire's not
Period.
fixed either.
Okay,
by the
hey,
way,
where did
Narcan
this thing?
does work on fentanyl.
We heard, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Where did this thing about quitting come into the situation? First of all, okay, you stop and think about it. What if it's an accidental overdose? Somebody that doesn't usually take it and is being administered this by another individual? Are you going to administer it to them if you got it in your pocket? I would.
Let me polish your halo for you.
I'm not doing any kind of medical treatment on anybody I don't know, ever.
It's,
I'm not a medical doctor.
it doesn't require
been-
But
training,
it's
though.
not a
Would that
medical
include-
treatment
Have you ever been
Unless-
CPR certified?
Absolutely is a medical treatment.
Have
It
you
doesn't
ever been
require
CPR
training.
certified?
No.
Would that
I need you to
include?
check for a
hang
hernia.
on,
Who knows?
hang on. Would that include
Person is
administering
bleeding.
an
I won't touch
EpiPen if
it.
they needed it? Would you consider EpiPen along
I
the
don't know them. I'm not, even if they hand me an EpiPen and their face is swelling, I'm handing it to somebody else. I'm not even taking it. I'm not getting involved in somebody else's medical
Good
emergency.
Samaritan laws would protect you.
That's even more dangerous, Beth.
Yeah, she would let them
Would you
die.
check me for a
Arguably, the
hernia?
EpiPen can do way more damage than the Narcan.
Yeah, I know.
Denizen, your mic is a little bit hot as fuck.
I got it. I'm gonna turn you down.
Okay.
I don't think so, Arby, not man. I don't think she would give someone CPR either. Would you?
Oh,
Would
hell
you?
No, I wouldn't. I already answered that. I was asked if I would give someone CPR, and I said no.
Yeah.
I would
wouldn't.
not
I mean-
administer a single medical procedure on somebody I do not know ever. There's too much liability involved.
No, there
with that.
isn't. There's good
I need
Samaritan
Denizen
laws.
to talk for a second. I need Denizen to talk for a second. Sing me a song, Den.
A song?
What
Yeah,
would
he's a
you say
little man.
if I sang out of tune? Would you stand
Much
up
better,
and
thank you.
walk out?
That was so bad.
And Dark Side,
Okay,
just so
that
you
was
know,
enough.
you are muted.
Yeah, she's,
Enjoy
I think
hanging
she's
out
doing
with your
that on
friends.
purpose.
Yeah, I get it. Sometimes I have to mute as well. Otherwise, I'll just freaking start. I got it. I can understand though. I've seen people get sued just for doing CPR. So, like,
I gotta say,
Only
I
way
am.
that you can get sued for CPR is if you're CPR certified.
that's
you-
interesting.
Yeah, and you either
In-
refuse to do
In
it.
my state, if you hold
really?
any
I'm CPR
medical
certified.
professional license, right down to just being like a CNA or a home health care aide, and you do not stop at an accident, or you do not offer to help assist aid at an accident, you can get in huge
Huh.
trouble.
I thought it was
Well,
the
I
good
mean, if
Samaritan
you
laws
have the
extended to
ability
that.
to do so,
You
should
should.
you not be obligated to do so?
I agree.
No.
It's right in their
In our
course.
society,
think
you
so.
are not
Doctors should be
obligated.
obligated to save your life.
I don't
And
want to
with
put
the
my
medical
mouth on the
profession, I
mouth
want
of
them
somebody
touching
You
who's
don't.
dying.
Doctors
They
aren't
give you a little
obligated to
like
save your
shield
life.
in CPR because I'm CPR certified. I have like life saving. I have for like we call it Red Cross here. I don't know if it's the same in the States. And they give you a little mouth guard that you can put on, so you actually don't have to worry about like getting
A mouth condom for
No,
the
it's in-
corpse that you're
yeah,
gonna
it's
be
like-
blowing on.
It's a,
It's in every
And
car
you
emergency
cannot be
kit.
charged for not giving CPR to someone who is not in your charge. Now, if they're in your charge, yes, but you can't be charged just because you drove by an accident scene. The cops don't even want you
I don't think you
stopping.
can
They'll
be
tell you
charged-
about the ambulance
But
on
if
the
you
way.
do stop-
No.
If you do stop and you are CPR certified and you do not give them CPR, you will be held liable.
I'd like you to show me a case. Bring up a case.
You
This
should
is
be.
good. Bring me a case of somebody who got sued for not
I'll
administering
find you one
CPR.
right now. It's happened in
Not
my
charged. She
Really?
didn't even say sued. She said charged. Show me this criminal charge for not administering CPR on someone. Just
I'll
random.
hook you right up.
If it's anything like an
Somebody said it is
environmental
to see this
course,
legislation.
if it's anything like an environmental course, yes, you can be charged because it's right in the course when you learn the law part of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Hippocratic Oath requires you
Not
to
that.
give them.
You don't take a
CPR.
Hippocratic oath
Yeah,
just
as a
because you got
CPR
CPR training.
trainer. Yeah, like what I'm reading right now is like even if you have
I'm
CPR
fucked up in the
training.
Hippocratic oath. That has nothing to do with getting CPR training. You can get CPR training just because you have children and you want to know it. You can get it at your local YMCA and you don't sign no fucking
I don't-
Hippocratic oath.
I don't think you even heard me correctly, but okay, like
In Ontario, you can't be charged even if you have CPR training if you don't perform it because of the Good Samaritan laws. That's the one Canadian example I
So-
can find.
You can't be charged, you said?
You can't because of Good
Yeah, you
Samaritan
cannot
laws.
be charged
Right.
for failing to administer medical aid if you're not a medical professional.
Yeah, the only
Right.
instance where like NIH has a study and it says like Good Samaritan laws typically do not provide legal protection for on-duty doctors. That would be the exception that I
Yeah,
understand.
on duty. You have to have a duty of care to the person to be charged for not
Correct.
administering medical aid. I don't have a duty of care to any of you fuckers. I do have a duty of care to my children. And that's why I said if I have the means and my children need it, I'm going to do it because I have a duty of care to them. I don't have a duty of care to any of you guys.
Good Samaritan laws protect.
You have a duty to
all
donate to me
50
sometimes, though.
states for CPR
I
training.
have. Even though you made a horrible video about me, I've donated to you, Dusty.
Because you were talking
What was the
shit.
video?
You started that.
Can we
I
watch-
did, and I
Yeah.
apologize.
Yeah, and I didn't make any more videos about you.
Exactly. So we're good. I'm just saying, but I ain't got no problem. I've donated to Best. I've donated to AVG, I think, on her
know.
stream
I
once.
just
I've
wanted to-
donated to
yeah.
Emmett. I've
I'm not
donated
saying you
to
haven't donated to
N.
people. I just wanted to do a stat. I just wanted to reaffirm that
And I
obligation
still pull
of
out
actually
my ass. So you
everybody. I'm
people
putting
better
that on
fucking donate
everybody.
out there. If I can donate
Donated
and
to me
provide
before any of these people
your
were
ass
on
is to
YouTube.
fucking donate too.
Hey, I'll take as much turf as you'll let me take. Yeah, and you got obligated to, make sure that my socks are matched and all that shit too.
Yeah, I think me and Katie might have to battle for that position. She might kick my ass if I started organizing your sock drawer, bro.
She'd probably be like, "Thank God she's here doing the socks," because I actually do like my socks matched. Because I'm a little bit autistic about like the seam on the toes being the same.
Yeah, if they're out of the same pack, I don't care if the colors match, but they have to be out of the same pack. I'm with you, Dusty.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about off subject, guys. Come on.
Okay, Danny. Never mind.
I'm waiting for you to drop me again.
I'm fighting a losing
Here's-
battle. There's too many dudes around here trying to rush the scene.
Here's the thing, Dusty, for me. A lot of people try to figure me out, and they want to know where I'm coming from, and they think they understand me because they prescribe if then theories to me. And
Yeah.
I am not like what most people think. People, when we had the eugenics debate, people were like, well, what if you were the one not allowed to breed? And I'll tell you, first and foremost, I should have never been allowed to breed based on the circumstances I was in when I had my children. And here's the thing. I am not a do-gooder. I am not a fucking
You're
goody-goody.
miserable
I
at the world, aren't
don't
you?
think I have the moral high ground on anybody. And I'm okay with that because I'm not God. I'm just a human being trying to get through this life. So I don't need to judge other people. And if you guys want to judge me, that's great because none of you fuck me, feed me, or finance me. And when you start doing one of those things, I'll give a fuck what you say.
So I actually agree with what you just said there. However, with specifically with this topic, you're not just not being responsible for people. You're actively proposing intervention in other people being responsible for each other. That would, in a way, that would have nothing to do with you.
I suppose you could say that, but we do that in our society already. If you don't have a medical license, you can't go do open heart surgery on somebody.
I get that we do it in our society already. I'm trying to figure out because I think that people tend to write you off like when they can't figure out or don't agree with you to, oh, she's just a this or that, right? And I think that you probably have some sort of illogical. I think that you've got some sort of thought process or something. Some silly logic, right? What is that?
While you're on the court, what
Carotid artery
business is it
bleeding,
of yours if
and
other
it
people
distracts
hurt each
from
other?
people actually doing something to fix things because they think, oh, we've already given everybody Narcan. We've washed our hands of it. And that's what's happening. You're not seeing the kind of shit we need happening. And more importantly, without Narcan, we've already seen the number of fatalities from opioids rise between 2017 and 2024, I think, or 2025, because in
Yeah, they
25
made-
to 26 it gave a
They
little
made
bit of
prescriptions way harder to get.
and they made prescriptions way harder to get. And
Yeah.
here's the thing: beyond that, we have the Narcan, and still having all these deaths. What that means is, without the Narcan, we'd have a lot more deaths, and we'd have a truer picture of the crisis that we're in, and people might actually make a better effort to do something about it. And I'm sorry if some people gotta die. People are going to die. At this point, where I live, we don't even have enough fucking water for the people here. There's a huge water battle going on between New Mexico and Texas, and we're losing, and we're
Start
dying.
saving your piss.
This is just a quick search.
I was
by
just
the way.
looking that up.
States with duty to rescue are Vermont, Minnesota, Rhode Island. Duty to notify law enforcement is California, Florida, Hawaii, Massachusetts.
So look how few those are.
It doesn't matter. It still exists.
It still exists. Where there
Who's
are
been charged? Okay, you show me the statute. Show me somebody actually charged.
All right. I will take
It's
this
also
back.
not required that you give
Wait,
medical
bring that
treatment.
back up. Brett, bring that back up
That's
while
a
you're looking, if you
misunderstanding
can,
of the law.
for a second. 'Cause
In
I just
Rhode
want
Island, you either have to, in an emergency situation, you either have to administer or summon help, which means you either have to administer CPR yourself or you have to call 911. You have to do one of the two. I don't know if you have to do both.
Only if you're directly
Definitely-
involved in the accident.
No, it's not.
call.
Right.
Failing to provide or call. I just said I would dial 911.
Here's
I'm
and
just not
other.
giving
That's
them-
only Rhode Island. That's specifically Rhode Island. That's
Yeah,
only
I
New
don't know.
York
I don't
and
know.
Rhode
That's at
Island.
the top.
But what
States
is- what
with
is
a
this
duty
shit
to
prove?
rescue. Failing
But what
to
is
provide
this-
or call for reasonable. That's
Yeah,
on
I have
all
it pulled up.
three
In
of them.
Vermont, failing to assist can result in a fine of up to $100. In
Oh wow!
Minnesota,
I'll pay the
failing
$100.
to provide reasonable
not bad,
assistance.
actually.
Charge.
Failing
That's a
to
civil.
provide
it's civil
reasonable
fine.
assistance and is a petty misdemeanor in the state of Minnesota. Like
Yeah.
these
It's
are
New
real.
York used to be that way.
These
Who's
are
been
real.
convicted? I want to
Hey,
see
the
it.
look up,
exact
look
same-
up, look up,
it's the
look up
exact same
sodomy
wording of the
laws.
law in
What
Rhode Island.
states still have sodomy laws on the books?
Reasonable
Yeah.
assistance is not medical treatment.
Okay, reasonable
see,
assistance is CPR if they need it.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
Jesus Christ.
We could argue that in court and see who
No,
wins.
you don't know how to administer it.
You are certified
shit.
to administer CPR. You can't, and the person needs CPR.
Yep.
You can provide reasonable assistance because you have the training to do so.
So there's way more states that will not let you butt fuck than will make you administer assistance.
Very true.
Thank you, Justin.
And I've butt fucked in at least 2 of those states. So
New York used to be one of those that required you would lose your medical professional license and could be criminally charged if you did not offer assistance. AVG, I see your message, no problem. I appreciate you very much. Although I don't know how, well, shit, that was a hot minute ago, so it's right about that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So whenever you gotta go, I appreciate you. This has been awesome. I love
I
having
love you, AVG.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Beth. Witchy, pleasure debating you as always. The rest of you, fine panel folk, lovely to see you and to chat with you. I did promise my chat I'd do a quick after panel of just the people that didn't want to contend with the haters and they, they just wanted to air their
the
grievances.
people that need their safe space, shout out to the safe space princesses.
We don't know that. Just like we don't know whether or not
We
an
know that.
individual
No, we know that.
using
You
Narcan-
basically just said that. We already suspected it, and you just said it explicitly.
They gotta have their echo chambers. It makes
I
them
know
feel
they gotta,
safe.
you know.
whatever.
It's probably all men too. It's probably all men that need to rub each other's vaginas.
Wait, Dusty, the funny part is,
By definition,
part
a man
is,
would
even
not
the
have
way
consent.
you're
Can you rub my
questioning me,
vagina?
Dusty, even the way you question me, everybody's kind of against me on this panel. So this
Dusty's
is their
going
safe
first.
space.
I actually, yeah, and I disagree with you, but I'm not like, you know, I'm not really worked up about your position because it doesn't
No,
necessarily.
I get it.
I don't
But
really
like I say,
care,
even
you know.
you're
Like,
against me.
it's not, you know.
Everybody here disagrees with me, and they still don't feel safe enough to come up here. I love you, AVG. I'm just teasing. You
I
got to
think
feed
they-
the drama, right?
I think honestly they
I
just
think
want to
maybe
give
a
me
good
shit.
I'll
building
come up
exercise.
and get some anytime.
I
Hang
think,
on a second.
Let
I
me
think
see if we can do.
oh,
Is that you, Josh? real quick?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. You
Thank
know
you.
I'm up here.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I
Thank
think.
Dark side. If you could, sorry, go ahead, babe.
Can I make an outro? Yeah, I think they just want to hate on me for not being mean enough again. That's why they want to hate on me. I also have to read my super chats and stuff. I'm not going to do that on Best Stream. So thank you so much for having me. Hope you guys have a great night, and God bless.
Good night, Paige. God bless.
Nobody's hating on you.
Toodles.
Okay, do
Dark
it
side.
again.
If you
Alrighty, guys. 1 second. Let me briefly close that. I hope that you enjoyed that debate. I'm sure I was not bitchy enough, but let's go through the super chats and then we'll open up the panel. Actually, let me get that set up first. So nobody is like, hey, what the heck? You could have been doing 2 things at once, lady. You suck. All right. Skip for now. AVG after panel. Narcan debate. It's going to bug me if I don't capitalize the letter P. Hey, Grid. Good to see you again. All right. So let me... Yeah, that is not my display name. Somebody rename me Valkyrie. You guys all saw me look that up. I don't know if I'm going to remove that or not. Honestly, I might just leave it in. It's kind of endearing, right? Sometimes I don't know what words. I thought it meant what it meant, like the decider of who lives and unalives, but wasn't sure. All right, panel link is pinned. Now let's go through these awesome super chats. I'm so happy that I'm monetized. You guys rock. All right, starting us off at the top, we have World Radio. $5 to cover AVG's Starbucks habit. It's just the cups. Have Narcan on standby, people. Yeah, I mean, you never know when you're going to need it for somebody else. Why does Beth have a ticker for donos? Another $5 dono from World Radio. Is it for after the debate, or are we dropping debaters for $1 a minute? It's after. She usually does these for after the show. And I don't think that there was another $5 from World Radio and ability to drop Beth. I don't think that she posts that. Gorilla Biscuits gifted 2 AVG memberships. Thank you so much, sir. World Radio donated $10, saying Witchy Bishy's preferred alternative is to let them expire, and tactfully admitted recovery rates would rise if you let them expire. She's including those who unintentionally ingest opioids. Correct. Mrs. D became a member. Thank you, ma'am. World Radio with another 10. Her societal drain addicted/nuisance argument. Where do we stop? Lifelong chronic issues, elderly, mental issues, orientation, ethnic group, or people who suckle from society. The left turns heel. Hell. Good point. $2 from Shadow the Titan. That's insane. It was insane, Shadow. Thank you for your donation. World Radio with another 5. Spiritually eclectic, referring to Witchy's worldview. I choose what fits my sensibility, also makes me unaccountable to things I don't like or prefer, i.e. moral relativism. Correct. Navy Bree with the $5. Thank you, ma'am. WAVG. Thank you, ma'am. World Radio with another 5. Would you watch someone die in front of you when you have the ability to save them in that moment, even if the person is an undesirable degen? Yes, she would. K2 with $2 donos. 1 to say kick Kieran and Glacier, and a heart for Confluence. That seems somewhat, you know what? K2 with the giant foot emojis. Thanks. I hate feet. At Gorilla Biscuits with the $5. It's time someone put their foot down. And that foot is me. Hilarious. Always great banner from GB. All right, let's let some peeps up. And let me mute myself because I think I'm going to cough. Oh. Normally I don't cough, but sometimes people smoke at birthday parties, and I don't react well to that. Hey, Emmett, how's it going?
Hello. How's it going?
It's going.
Congratulations. I think you did okay. It was a weird debate. I didn't have any questions, to be honest, at all. I just wanted to go in and give him a little bit of shit to flow, because he always says that I have to deal with dumbasses on my side.
Yeah, the foot thing was weird. I think he's just trying to get you to say something about the person, which we shall not name.
Yeah, redacted will not be named because it's redacted.
Hey, Grid.
I don't know who's redacted. You'll have to redact it to me.
I'll put it
in the back chat.
I'll put it on the back chat.
Okay. That was tough, AVG. I'm going to be honest with you. That was a rough one to watch. Yeah, it was a rough one to watch. Normally debates, they center around logic and reasoning and facts and things like that. But this one was just like feelings. I feel like this. I feel like that. It's crazy. You did a good job.
Oh, thank you. Do you think that I was heavily appealing to emotion, or?
No. I think you were stunned most of the time. I think you were just like, I can't believe what this chick just said. That's weird.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to comfort kids. I was just trying to, bring it close to home and say, like, hey, if this happened, because I wanted to know if she would distinguish.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
I
didn't get
knew
that.
She wasn't. I knew that one. I knew it before she said it.
So, and I like Witchy. I think that she's fun and she has some good opinions on a lot of things, but she really gets like in this like kind of feedback loop where she kind of just doesn't like consider anything. And I was actually the EpiPen, obviously I really hate the having 10 people up on a panel thing when you're trying to discuss anything. So it was tough, but the EpiPen thing was like, why would you not treat the Narcan pens or whatever they are the same way as an EpiPen, except, probably don't price it at $900 and probably make it a little bit more available. But I don't know. I thought it was weird. I thought the whole argument was, and her whole argument really hinged on, we're just encouraging drug abuse and therefore they should die, which is more of that sounds like something I would say, honestly. But yeah, it was weird. Hey, Kissy Cat.
Good to see you, Cat.
What is up?
Hey, Cat.
Hey, y'all.
What are your feelings and your thoughts?
I think you did a great job. I'm in agreement with you on this topic.
Poll was unanimous on my side, but I usually expect it to be more unanimous than Beth's.
Yeah, there were just some wild takes and some wild comments being made during the debate and the after panel as well.
Yeah, I got another crazy debate on Tuesday. So
it's gonna be great.
The
Redacted.
The blind pill debate. So, that's all I'm dishing these days is crazy debates. But I kind of knew she would go for the non-humanitarian perspective. I wanted to highlight that. I didn't want to make that my only mission in the debate, because really I can win from a secular perspective as well. Right? The fact is, for the amount that we actually pay for these individuals to have Narcan, they do contribute eventually more to society, at least in the percentage that do get recovered. So to take that stance is not only stupid in that way, but also dangerous, because it would imply that anybody who becomes a monetary net negative to society ought be just removed from this earth, right? And that's not something that anybody, even a non-Christian individual, would find valuable, because everybody finds value in their friends and their family.
I really wish you guys could start like debating like more normal stuff, like Carmelo Anthony should is his trial going well, or is he, do we feel like that justice will be served? Just like some normal stuff. Just
some normal stuff. Well, she challenged me to this.
I found this one really interesting, though.
Of course you did. You're a pharmacist. Of course you did. I found it interesting only from the point of view that I didn't think that Paige had to work really hard.
No. Let me
to prove her point. And I thought that I had never seen anyone kind of take the tact that Witchy did, and it was just so erratic and all over the place. It really bugged my sense of order, and just like absolutely insane.
That's how she debates, though. Like she's unapologetic with her positions. Her positions when it comes to like morality are rather crazy. That's why I was shocked when she went into Christianity. I was like, oh, we're going to talk about morals today. Oh, hell yeah. Let's get right into that.
She really didn't get
Yeah,
into
this
the
is why-
morality of it as much as she was just kind of like
She doesn't have a
calling you
position
out on
on
your
her.
morality, like saying that your morality is the problem.
Exactly, which is why it was fair game for me to bring up the Simbari tribe, to bring up her morality, where she gets her morals from. And I mean, look, I'm not the best outliner of tag, nor am I the best debater on objective morality, but I thought I related to a sufficient extent where it made her position look rather moronic in that regard. So,
I mean, I didn't think you needed to
Agreed.
do anything really. I think that just the entire tack that she was taking was really inconsistent, erratic, and insane. And therefore, the problem with any debate, I find this very interesting in debating, and what I'm seeing in the online debate sphere now, it's all about the gotcha and the and kind of the soundbite or whatever, and there's so many poor debates, but there was no logic there. Like, can anyone explain to me the logic behind Witchy's position?
I can actually, but
Please.
the thing is, yeah. So the thing is what she's calling for is for Narcan to only be used by a medical professional, to administered to a patient by a medical professional.
I heard that part.
And okay, and then when she got to talking with me, she even moved to opiates should only be administered by a medical professional, which means you would not be able to go home with a prescription of an opiate. You would be monitored, you would be tapered off of it before you were sent home, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So, but and albeit that is something that is possible. However,
both of those things are good.
Insurance rates, well, the thing is people's insurance rates will go up, people's medical bills will go up, because they will be required to have an inpatient stay for at least like 7 days, depending on the opiate prescription, depending on the surgery, right? The scope of the surgery is going to dictate the pain afterwards.
Sure.
So you would have to remain an inpatient through that whole recovery process, and then be tapered off of the opiate. Some people would end up spending their lives in hospitals if this was the case. I see her logic behind it. I see a solution, but it's not really a solution, because.
But is it logical though? It is.
By her logic, like only
actually-
healthcare professionals could administer CPR, which makes no
Right.
sense.
That's
ridiculous.
We can't apply if we apply that logic to all things that help humans. Nobody could do anything. You couldn't get out of bed in the morning because you have an ache and pain.
Before we move on to another point,
yeah, let's let the
if I could just say something just for 2 seconds about the point you were just talking about opiates, whether somebody like a doctor, a medical professional should hand them out. I've actually had that debate before, believe it or not. And pardon me. And I think the biggest point of that is just the pragmatic, like actual life, the details, like the devil's in the details, like how you actually going to make that logically happen. Like, you think about it for a second, like say you're Dark Side Deaconess just gave an example of someone that has surgery. That's at least a clear path of how to make that happen. What about the millions of Americans that are on pain medicine for chronic pain? What are they going to do on holidays? What are they going to do on weekends? Our medical professionals are already spread thin. Are they going to have to do home health, which is 3 times as expensive as going to a doctor? Like, et cetera, so
Well, you can still overdose with home health.
Oh, absolutely.
And then that would have to be the over-the-counter version of Narcan as well, because a home health nurse isn't going to be administering that IV.
Yeah. Well, MedAids will. MedAids, home health MedAids, they do. So I mean, we do have
logic isn't what's possible. Logic isn't what's possible. Like, it is possible for all those things to happen, but it doesn't logically follow, and it doesn't logically follow that it would actually solve the problem. Because
It won't.
if you want to say that all opiates have to be administered by a physician, sure, fine, right, medical professional, whatever, fine, okay, it doesn't logically follow, but let's go with it for a minute. That you do nothing for all of the illegal drugs that are out there that are being administered by who the fuck ever. And then I'd understand. Her position would be, well, then now they're breaking the law, and we don't have to care about them because they're breaking the law. Well, then we fall back into this argument of, yeah, but they got hooked because of something else, or as in so many cases that are happening now, they get hit with something that was laced with heroin or fentanyl or whatever, and they die.
Yeah, they're putting it in everything, even marijuana. Like,
and they're taking pills. Have you guys seen this? They're taking pills, and they're making them out of.
Oh yeah, that's not anything new. That's called pill pressing. That's been going on forever.
Yeah. But it's going on really badly with fentanyl right now, where a kid takes.
The argument takes away independence and is actually quite ableist if you really think about it.
Yeah,
so I think it's a crazy argument.
It's that there's no logic behind it. Logic, if you want to, I mean, if I wanted to make the argument that she's making logically, I would simply say that that Narcan should be limited to some degree, maybe one per household, or something of that nature.
But just real quick, why? What is with this idea of needing to limit it? Like we were saying the whole time, it's not like it can do anything good for you.
I'm trying to make her argument. I'm trying to make her argument, which is insane.
Right. That's just a good point for it. Like why limit?
The argument that would be where I would do. I would say, hey, this is something that can cause issues. It can cause problems. So therefore, let's kind of treat it the same way we do EpiPens or other life-saving
like an AED, CPR, that kind of stuff.
AED,
medications, and
sure.
God forbid somebody go into cardiac arrest around that lady with a defibrillator on the wall in a mall. You know what I'm saying?
I was just about to say that. A friend of mine, acquaintance really, was just saved a few years ago at a gun range because they had just put in defibrillators, and he had a heart attack on the range. And someone who had never used a defibrillator before in their life read the instructions and saved that dude's life because it was sitting there on the wall. Like it's a big yellow box defibrillator in case of heart attack. Use this. Follow the directions.
Yeah, that's nothing. What happens when you call 911 and you tell them this person has chest pains or this person's unconscious and they're led to believe it's some heart issue? They tell you. That's one of the first things they say. Like, look around for a defibrillator. Do you want me to counsel you through CPR? Like, this is something anybody can do. Like, it's not just about them being available.
Right. And this
just like with Narcan, a friend could have it, or
Yeah. And what I kind of got out of her position is that from her position, only criminals and drug addicts are going to be the ones using this Narcan to save themselves over and over again, so they could just go back and do drugs again. And that could be true. I mean, that I think that'd be a very small percentage, and I would have conceded that right out of the gate. Sure, I'm sure that's going to happen. That's literally like it's like saying that we need to ban all cars because drunk drivers kill more people than firearms in this country. That would be the equivalent, right? Logically, if we're going to ban firearms, then we need to ban the cars because people drive drunk and kill people, and we can't stop people from driving drunk. This is the same logic train, and then of course that would open up a whole nother series of arguments. But her arguments were really bad. I don't even know that there was an actual argument.
I have a bit of a fifis, and I have a bit of a, like, if we're going to pathologize, which I know we don't love to do, but if we were, I feel like she's likely suffering with a bit of mommy issues. She admitted she was born drug dependent. I won't even say it as crassly as she did because I'm not a heartless. See you next Tuesday. But she was born a drug dependent baby, and she struggled herself, supposedly, even though she said she's never blacked out, never had out, whatever. I'm not gatekeeping her sobriety, whatever, or drunkenness, but obviously she's got some unresolved trauma. You can tell it just by the way she speaks about addicts and junkies this and junkies that, like, and literally wants them to die in the streets, And I think that hatefulness, oh yeah, for sure. And I
I
think she's
said
just
that.
not. Yeah, you're with me. You're with me, Dark Side. And
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
I can hear. I
she just
feel
can't
it.
see.
I
Yeah,
feel it,
and you're
dude.
still
She
you. It's like
resents
she
herself
spits
so
that
badly.
word.
So I'm
Yeah.
looking
I'm
at
gonna
this.
tell you right now, Grid.
Yeah.
That right there is a case of non-recovery. She can't even.
Oh, 100%.
She has so much. She's projecting. She doesn't think that her life is worthwhile because she feels as though she was a waste on society. And that is something that a lot of addicts struggle with for their whole lives. And unfortunately,
There's a lot of
they
anger.
don't
I'll agree with you.
they
There's a
don't
lot of anger.
experience what would be considered the fullness of recovery inside of a 12-step program. I left 12-step recovery for my own reasons. I'm not a huge fan of it, but if it fucking works for you, it fucking works for you. And the one thing that I kept hitting on is this woman is not out here spreading a message of recovery. She's spreading
Yes, that's the
spreading a
one
message
thing.
of self-hatred and self-loathing. And it was very sad. I don't hate that woman. God, and you heard me, like, I genuinely
I'm gonna pray
pray
for her.
sometimes, Jesus, dude. Like, I remember what it feels like to feel that way.
I
I'm
don't.
sorry
I
for
don't
her.
think that's
Helpless.
the
I think
case
she
at
just
all.
doesn't value human life very much. To be
Because she
honest.
Yeah,
doesn't
there's that
value
too.
her own. Because she
No.
doesn't value her
No,
own.
I
I think
disagree.
I think it's
No, I
more.
disagree.
So,
Yeah, I'll be honest here. As someone who's never drank, never done drugs, never been high, none of that stuff, it's very difficult for me sometimes to understand the positioning. But I've watched enough of it, and like my youngest brother died of alcohol poisoning, and so I understand. I have a very clear picture of what these addictions are.
Can I help you just for 2 seconds? A lot of people say this about drug addiction that have never struggled with it, and I can break it down in 100 different ways. But I'll just tell you: imagine you did something, no matter what it was, exercise, snacks, whatever it is that you enjoy, and you did it. And every single time you did it, the first couple times, it was clearly a choice for you to do it. But every time you did it, it literally changed your brain to where you could feel everything good. Happiness, love, warm feelings, right? Only when you did it. So that after an amount of time, you only got those good hormones that cause that fluffy feeling, right? When you did that thing, like your brain literally changes.
I do get that
And
part.
then-
Of it. I mean, I understand addiction behaviors and things like that. And I've watched people go through this stuff, and but I've never kind of been there myself. The interesting thing I think is in this case, and maybe this is just the way that Witchy debates, but it really seemed like it was like super personal. There was a lot of just hyperbole, a lot of anecdotal, kind of very interesting anecdotal testimony sort of deals, and the hyperbole that she was using, just it was so odd, like, and so specific over and over again, by the way. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird for me.
welcome to the stream, Elder Lion. Good to see you, sir.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I don't think she was actually making. Like, there was an argument that she could have made, but she just didn't do it. And I'm not gonna give that argument because I think it's evil.
Welcome.
I don't know.
Good.
So the thing, like, a lot of it was just based on like anecdotal bullshit. I don't think that she was actually trying to make any point besides like a maybe a rough utilitarian point, but even then she didn't even commit to that.
It was very interesting.
I'm gonna have to disagree a little bit here. Not with you, Elder, but with the way that she looks at things. Because I think people are being empathetic, which is not a good thing. You are projecting yourself upon that person instead of thinking of that person. I really believe that the idea of the way that she looks at the world is a very cynical idea. It's like, oh, if you are addicted, if you do X thing that I think is wrong, or even if I don't have access to what wrong is, you don't deserve to be part of society because all I want for society is the good things. She even said it herself that she wouldn't be alive in accordance to the way she wants society to be. So it's a little, sometimes you have to give the devil's due. It's a little disingenuous to think that she just hates herself. I don't think that's the idea behind it. It's just a very evil nature. It's just representing the very evil nature of man.
I don't disagree with you, Emmett.
Yeah, I don't disagree either, but I think that that's come from her experience, which
No, I don't
she.
think so. I think I come with logic. I think I can come with those conclusions completely
So
logical.
are you saying the same? Like, do you think that she's not
I think
savable?
she's what? No. I first off, savable has to do with it has nothing to do with me. I'm not the owner of salvation. So I
Right.
cannot tell you if you're going to be saved or not. I
Right.
cannot tell her if she's going to be saved or not. What I'm saying is the way that she's looking at the world is you can come to that kind of conclusion in a very cynical way, and it's a very logical way too. If you see the man as an evil creature that only the cream of the crop, the ones on top are the ones that ought to be allowed to survive because who they are, then I don't see any logical reason to say, oh well, she doesn't understand. I see it on the other hand. I see it as the opposite. She does understand, and she has taken that kind of human nature as the basics for her own worldview. And
So
if that is
from
the
what she's
case,
observed.
obvious. What do you mean by that?
So she's become this way because of what she's observed.
In a logical sense.
Yeah, a lot of people in the world end up that way because somehow, some way, all they seem to be able to pay attention to is the evil in the world, and it consumes them. That is what is wrong with her, and she projects that onto the rest of us and everybody else around her. It's really sad.
Just a quick housekeeping matter, and then I'd like to weigh in on that. Emmett, your mic volume is apparently at 5%. Nobody can hear you.
At 5%?
That's what James says. Apparently, he's not trolling me. I already asked.
What?
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so I was gonna bring up, like, is it possible you're biased? But like, I had already made it quite clear that we had no clue that. Oh, Navy Bree says you sound fine. Who knows? I had already
Is it
made
better now?
Yeah, it's a bit better. I had made it pretty clear to Witchy throughout the debate that we have no clue what these people are thinking or whether or not they have positions on, their repentance or their recovery. And so I didn't want to, entertain her with that, because then she could be like, well, you just said that we have no clue, right? It would have been a losing argument. It's kind of like the thing that she said to me with respect to, giving kids might use Narcan just because. It's like, there's no recorded instance of that even being an issue or having harmed people. So, WTF. I'm not going to bring that up. Darkseid, you're smiling. Am I wrong? You're muted. Phil.
Yeah, you're muted.
Boomer moment.
Say the end part again. I'm sorry. I got slightly distracted. I may have been smiling at what you said or not.
Tisk tisk.
I'm sorry. Say the last part.
I said, like, there's certain things I don't want to entertain during a debate, like biases, right? It's not useful to my position that we can't look inside the mind of the supposed addict. And with respect to her assertion about the, why didn't you bring up kids potentially using Narcan? It's like, what would have been the point of that? It's not a recognized issue. It doesn't cause any unalivance. So.
Right. And there, I don't know if like she maybe had reports of it happening maybe one time somewhere or something. But yeah, I haven't heard that it's a huge issue that kids are running around sticking Narcan in each other. Like, I just don't, it was weird, but I mean, you can't remove complete bias, right? You can't go into a position completely non-biased. But you want to have the least amount of bias, right? So you really have to decide where this argument is coming from. Is it coming from that bias? Is your position based on your bias, based on your anecdote or your personal experience? Or is this based on empirical data? Is it based on logical, a logical thought process that you have gone through? But she was basing a lot of her things on personal experience, and there was a lot of bias in her position.
Yeah, hey guys, I gotta drop. My kids are both starting to be very loud, so I'm gonna like go hang out with those little guys for a little
No
while.
worries
Well,
at
one's
all.
really tall, one big guy, one little guy. But you guys have a great night.
Thank you for
Have a
joining
good
us,
one, Greg.
Grid. God bless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, what do you guys think? Should we wrap this up?
There's an invasion going on.
Yeah, just kind of what I'm thinking. I have to send links for that. So, yeah. Let's start with Elder. Elder, you're last to join. Do you have any closing thoughts? And do you have a channel I can shill? Because I don't think I've ever asked that before.
Well, I do stream. I play games, really stupid games, and I make fun of it. And then Kat and Emmett comes over and bullies me all the time. That's what my channel is about.
Is it at Elderline? Is that?
Yep.
Yep.
Let me just post your link in the chat. Why do you have a black and white? Oh, weird. All of a sudden my phone started playing. Detroit Become Human, and it's a photo of Emmett eating a burger. That is confusing.
That's
Oh
a
my
biscuit.
god.
A biscuit.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's where Biscuit Gate started.
I'm not going.
Jesus.
I am not going to go there at all.
Well, I mean, like, it was a pretty big controversy for a while on my channel that Emmett had never had a sausage biscuit.
Well, I never had one until very recently. They're great.
And then he bought the wrong one. He got a
and
McMuffin instead of a biscuit.
That true happened. That's true. And then Lion fucked it up by doing a tier list that makes no sense. I'm still salty about that.
The tier list was pretty based on Southern experience, so it was authoritative.
It wasn't authoritative. You are the experience, and your experience makes no sense logically. Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't take your opinion seriously because you're not part of Southern culture.
I am more Southerner than you, to be honest. I am also like way more to the south. That's where I come
geographically
from.
Maybe, but culturally
the
no.
south. Literally south.
This is just a lot of coping. See, this is what happens on my streams. This is how it always devolves into this.
All right, let's not let it devolve into this. Let's go to Dark Side Deacon S. What do you got going on that the fans can get excited about?
Okay, so I did a live stream today. It is on hold until noon tomorrow when I can edit it. So I do have a live stream recording that will drop tomorrow at noon. I also have my birthday extravaganza stream happening on Tuesday, starting at noon and going until as long as I can, probably 7 or 7:30, because AVG also has a debate that night. So that's where you can find me next.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Thanks so much.
At DRKSDDCNS.
Find her link in the chat. Tommy, I see you in the back room, but we are shutting it down. So perhaps another time, sir. Thank you for subscribing, by the way. Emmett, what do you have going on? Tell the viewers.
I just want to say that if you believe rumors from a black dude, you're probably black yourself, and you should check your brain. Besides that, I got a debate coming on the 19th against Witchy Bishy. This is gonna be a Christianity debate, which is gonna be super fun. Whether or not Christianity is witchcraft, which makes no sense, but I'll be there doing that.
I'm moderating that.
You are moderating that.
I
It's
am.
gonna be good. And then I'll I have a debate coming this Friday. This is about whether or not democracy functions. This is going to be with Stillborn and Abe on Horseradish's channel. And other than that, I have some Warhammer to build, a knight is going to be sent, and some pixel art to make. And that's it for me. Thank you for having me on, AVG. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Always appreciate you and your support of the channel. See you
Thank
next time.
Have a good one.
You
Take good
too.
care.
To everybody in chat, I'd like to say a huge thank you so much. Here, let me go back to OBS here so that you guys can actually see me and whatnot. Oh, total fail. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you if you're a new subscriber, if you donated tonight, or heck, even if you just liked the stream or came here to support. I really do appreciate it. Means the world to me. And yeah, you guys are such a raid to the Crucible TikTok invasion. I hope that you have a lot of fun over there. Please say hi for me. I will be moderating that and also sending some links in. So get at that and hope you have a great time. In the interim, my next appearance will be on Tuesday. I'll be debating the blind pill being a net positive for men against Marte Ruelas. For those of you who don't know, he has a whole theory on the blind pill, so that should be very interesting. It's on Tyler TV, but I will be restreaming it if possible. Catch me there on Tuesday. My next debate after that will be with Anson on the 26th with respect to secular marriage being a bad deal for men. So I hope you had fun tonight, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Toodles!